next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Contractors, remodelers, you now have a great supplier to assist you with your next project. Anova Cabinet and Stone in Sacramento. They are Northern California's best kitchen and bathroom remodeling supply store. Anova has the latest cabinet styles, a great selection of countertops, flooring, bathroom fixtures, and more. Visit their website, InovaCabinetStone.com. Take advantage of their grand opening special, a $750 in-store credit. Stop by today, Anova Cabinet and Stone in Sacramento.
Have you tried my Colombian tamales?
Yes, but the Mexican tamales I brought are way better.
Colombian tamales wrapped in plantain leaves are unmatched, you know.
But the Mexican tamales wrapped in corn husks are the authentic ones.
At least we can agree that they taste better with Pepsi.
Without a doubt, tamales deserve Pepsi. No matter what tamales you love, enter for a chance to win a year's worth of groceries. Powered by Pepsi. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 or over. Ends April 5th, 2026. Rules at pepsipromo.com/free groceries. Pepsi is a registered trademark of Pepsi Going.
Hagen Oaks knows you can buy a driver off the shelf anywhere, but Hagen Oaks is the only place where you'll find total game fitting. The Hagen Oaks TrackMan-powered player performance studio fits clubs to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Ball Fitter finds your optimum golf ball. The putter fitting studio makes you a better putter, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds your correct fit. In fact, Hagen Oaks will fit you from head to toe with equipment and apparel to make you the player you want to be. It's total game fitting, and it's only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Welcome to the Barn Auction.
Barn Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, March 14th in Sacramento. Large farming and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies, all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnunauction.com.
Injured and you're considering an LA law firm looking to charge you 45% to 50% in attorney's fees? That's overcharging. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years, and I can tell you no matter how complicated your injury case, you should never be charged 45% or 50% in attorney's fees ever. Direct, experienced, unrelenting, and honest local representation matters. It's called home court advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries. So for the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return,
but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
KHD-KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson. Online at SactownSports.com or on the app. Kings, Niners, and Sacramento. The Matt and Kayla Show starts now.
Oh, it's a busy Monday indeed. Hello and welcome into the Matt and Kayla Show. I'm Matt George. Kayla Anderson with me. Kyle Ledbetter back from partying at a wedding all weekend. He's behind the glass, pressing the buttons. Happy to have you back, Kyle. You missed a lot. Busy weekend around the association.
Why? What happened?
Nothing. None at all.
I did have multiple people text me at the wedding, hey, Matt George got in a fight with Westbrook.
Well, that context is not accurate. Because I would have lost horribly.
I wouldn't have known any different.
No, wasn't quite that, but it was something, let me tell you. We addressed that on Friday. I have an update on that situation for you. It's nothing crazy. And then we'll, of course, dive into the Sacramento Kings win over the Chicago Bulls last night. There's so much good from this game. We have a plethora of topics to get to. Of course, the Russell Westbrook stuff. We have just basically we're going to ask the question at this point, why isn't Maxim Raynaud a future starting center for the Sacramento Kings and the future starting center here in the NBA. We'll talk about that. Malik Monk's big game last night. What is his future in Sacramento? I believe I know what the Kings want to do, but should they want to go that route? We'll talk about that. DeMar DeRozan missed his first game of the season, which was a real bummer last night. And then is the tank in trouble? Because
could be.
It could be. So we'll talk about that too. Also, the world is going crazy right now in NFL land. Free agency has begun, and Kayla Anderson is going to be locked into everything that's going on in the NFL. I'm going to do my best to try and butt in when I can because she's monitoring everything that's going on. She loves how I am with NBA free agency. That's what Kayla is tenfold for NFL free agency. And we have a lot of NFL topics to get to. This isn't free agency related, but the Raiders did trade Max Crosby to the Baltimore Ravens. We'll talk about that. The Niners are ninering when it comes to Trent Williams. I don't like it. It's spooky. Plus some names are headed to different locations. The Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker, is headed to the Kansas City Chiefs, according to reports. I know Kyle Ledbetter's happy about that. So we have a ton of football to get to. The World Baseball Classic is going on right now, and it is fan-freaking-tastic. I love the World Baseball Classic. Dominican Republic is playing right now. Fernando Tatis Jr. already hit a grand slam in this game. We'll talk about Team USA's 2 games over the weekend, plus they're taking on Mexico tonight. Kayla's 2-minute drill, Q&K. SAK State baseball had a huge weekend in LSU. The Sacramento Republic FC got a win in their home opener. Oh my God, we've got so much to get to in today's show. So what am I going to do? I'm going to pull a Carmichael Dave, and I'm going to delay getting to any of it because I wanted to update you all on the fact that I saw the greatest thing on the planet this weekend.
Oh, it wasn't. I thought you were going to share the Russell Westbrook.
Oh no, we'll get to that. That's second to the what I got to experience this weekend for the first time as a father.
T-ball.
Yeah.
You've been to practices, just not a game.
Oh, it's the best.
It's fun.
It's hilarious.
It is pretty fun.
It is absolutely hilarious to watch T-ball, to watch these kids not know what is going on. Like a couple kids would hit the ball and instead of running to first would start running after the ball. Everybody in the infield is just sitting down playing in dirt or picking daisies in the outfield. Nobody cares. My son at one point was playing right field and there was a grounder hit to third base and my son sprints all the way from right field and basically dives on top of the third baseman trying to get the ball. T-ball is the best, especially when you have a kid that's participating in it. It would probably be a little weird to just go to a park and watch a T-ball game if you have no connection to it. But T-ball is so unbelievably entertaining, and we have another game tonight. So I'm really excited. My son's team is the Drop Bears, which is like an Australian team. I don't know.
The Drop Bears?
Yeah, apparently
is that a type of bear, or is it when the bear?
I think it's like a
has
term.
Too much to eat and he drops into hibernation?
I think it's like a term for a koala.
Whoa.
I don't know. They're a team, an Australian team. I think they're like on par with like the Savannah Bananas, essentially. They're the Drop Bears.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Kayla, can you just Google Drop Bear for me real quick? Just type it into Google and I want to see your reaction to what comes up.
I don't want to know.
Okay, let's see here. I'm pulling up the images. Oh gosh.
Is it bad?
Wow.
Is it bad?
He ain't nice.
A Drop Bear.
Holy crap. This thing looks like Cocaine Bear.
Oh.
But mini-sized Cocaine Bear.
Oh.
The Drop Bear is a hoax in contemporary Australian folklore featuring a predatory carnivorous version of a koala.
Yeah, it's a koala bear.
This imaginary animal is commonly spoken about in tall tales designed to scare tourists.
Matt's face just now when I said this. This bear is nasty.
Hey, that's the Drop Bears, though. You don't mess with us. You don't mess with the Drop Bears. You don't mess with my son on the Drop Bears because we turn into an anger. You thought we were cute? Hell no. We bite you.
Mm-hmm.
I hope AI doesn't discover the Drop Bear because there's going to be some horrifying. This is like the evil Winnie the Pooh is what these images are. It's like got razor teeth and red eyes. It's like the horrifying koala.
That's really funny. I had no idea what that was, but it's actually a thing.
Anyway, yeah, my son plays for the Drop Bears.
That's very creative.
And I don't know if they won because they didn't keep.
You know what?
Yeah,
don't mess with them.
Don't mess with the Drop Bears. Insane, but
they are Australia's deadliest myth.
Damn right. You're damn right. Now we're over in the States. We're coming after your T-ball team.
I love that.
Yeah, so
that's a great name.
Being able to experience T-ball for the first time as a parent this weekend.
Who named this team?
It's, I guess, it's an actual team in Australia, I think, because in typical Little League fashion, like when we were in Little League, it was the Angels, it was the A's, it was the Dodgers, and apparently now they take other teams. And so, like, one team is the Bananas, and then one team is the Drop Bears, and one team is...
I think it's cool.
So,
it's more creative than what we did.
Yeah.
I was the Spokane Mariners.
I liked the old school. Like, it felt like you were on the Mariners. It felt like you had the Mariners hat, and like.
I'll have to. I have both my jerseys still. I'll wear them I'll wear one this week.
They
both
still
my jerseys
fit.
Yeah, it was huge on me back then. Now it's
That's
still
true.
big on
You were
me.
kind of like swimming in those T-shirts
Yeah,
when you were a kid.
it's still big on me. But
Really?
Yeah, I'll wear one in.
You were the best player on your team. Admit it.
Oh,
in T-ball,
always.
Were you playing with the boys?
Yeah.
Just destroying them.
This one though is not from T-ball. It's from like what would you say, like before junior high? So not quite T-ball.
What is that?
A little bit past T-ball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like farm.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. I'll learn. I'm getting in the swing of things. I'm becoming a baseball dad. So it was
There you
fun.
go.
It was a blast to watch T-ball, but it was also very fun being in the Golden One Center last night. Yes, at some point, guys, we will address, of course, the tank. We will talk about how last night's win puts a lot of emphasis. It was already an important game tomorrow, Kings, Pacers in the Golden One Center. It's now even more important because the Kings have only a half a game lead over the Pacers for that top draft lottery spot. Now, the good news is the team that I'm most afraid of and have been most afraid of this entire time is the Brooklyn Nets because the Kings have to play the Brooklyn Nets twice. Well, the Nets somehow this weekend came back from like 25 down to defeat the Pistons.
I didn't see that happening. Wasn't on my bingo card.
The Pistons are floundering a little bit right now, but it's fine. They can get it out the way. But the Nets got a surprising win and the Kings beat the Bulls. So in that sense, it's not the biggest deal. Washington lost last night.
Yep.
Whatever. The Pacers lost.
It's these Pacers we're worried about.
Damn Pacers. And let's be honest, like if the Kings play 60% of the way that they played last night against the Indiana Pacers, they'll probably win that game by double digits too.
Yeah, that is very, very true.
I'll address the Russell Westbrook situation really, really quickly, and then we'll talk about the game that he had because he was sensational. Like there's no other way to put it. So I haven't sat down and spoken with Russ and hashed out everything yet. I approached Russ yesterday, felt I should have. It was what I was supposed to do.
In the locker room?
Yeah, I approached Russ in the locker room before the game. He doesn't like to talk before the game. He said, okay, let's talk afterwards. It's like, okay, that's totally fine. Waited for him afterwards. He saw me, came up to me, and basically said like, hey, I got to run, but we'll set up a time. Let's set up a time, blah, 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 this detail to speak. But then we, very brief back and forth.
Yeah.
Shook my hand.
Yeah.
Put my hand on.
It wasn't like a F.U.
No, he
Matt
was.
George.
He was super cool.
Yeah.
He was very approachable. There was
Sure.
no hostility. More than willing to talk. He was very, very kind.
Yeah.
Very open to having a conversation. And he obviously does not have to be that way. I still don't feel like I did necessarily anything wrong.
Sure.
I don't know what. I'm still waiting to hear what specifically he took issue with, but we will have that conversation when we have that conversation. But regardless, he was very, very kind, and he was even that before he had that amazing triple-double, so it wasn't just he was in a good mood. So I had a great interaction with Russ last night. Looking forward to seeing where the conversation goes and looking forward to just focusing on basketball again. So that was nice.
I'm glad you did that. I just think, like, look, we're not in this business that we're in. We're not always going to have the perfect takes. And sometimes players are not going to have the perfect reactions. There's no such thing.
Yep.
And this is almost kind of what makes sports too, is there's going to be things like this. And it happens in every sports. I've seen it in many markets where I've worked where it just happens. You've seen it here before.
Oh, yeah.
With Kings players.
Oh, yeah.
And radio and TV personalities.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's just the way that you deal with it. I think that just shows professionalism on both sides. And so good for you for, trying to reach out to Russ, and hopefully you guys can get that convo just so there's a little bit more clarity, I guess you could say, because I know the type of person I am. I just always want clarity. Like if I mess up on anything, I just want to know why. And you got to tell me why, because I might agree with you, I might not, but at least have the convo. But good for Russ for that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all. He's a pro. Like he's going to have his moments where he's going to be Russ, but he also is, when it comes down to it, I think a great representative of the league. And I'm glad you got to have a little brief moment there to shake his hand too.
Yeah, last night's game in particular, it snapped a 3-game losing streak, but it felt similar to the win that they had in Memphis to snap that, 15, 16-game losing streak that they were on. Now, there's a big difference between 3 and 15 straight games, but last night snapped a 9-game home losing skid, and the Kings hadn't won a home game since January 16th, which was against Washington. I think that was the final game of that 4-game win streak that they randomly went on. And it was the second longest home losing streak in franchise history. So to some extent, like it's a feel-good win. I'm glad they got it. Again, we'll talk about the implications on the tank and anything like that. If you feel that way, if you're like, this is a stupid win, what are we doing? I don't necessarily blame you. You can have those feelings. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But there was, whether it was an added energy from what happened on Thursday, the frustration of just how this season has gone. But the Kings in general were firing offensively on all cylinders last night.
Yeah.
Now, the Bulls are terrible.
They're
bad. Really bad. But it's not like I'm using that to undermine what the Sacramento Kings are doing, because on all sides, the ball movement was phenomenal. I mean, 33 assists to just 4 turnovers for the Sacramento Kings. And it was like that from the jump. They were moving the basketball really well, and the captain, the leader of that, was Russell Westbrook. And we're going to dive into 11 o'clock, like why specifically this game for Russ is different from, in my mind, from a lot of the other games that we've seen from Russ, and why this version of Russ is something that I can get behind if he's going to be a potential long-term option here in Sacramento, or at least back for next season. And look, I know the accusations are coming. I'm not switching my tone just because Russ called me out or just because I had an interaction with Russell Westbrook. How Russ approached last night's game, in my mind, was completely different to other times that he approached the game, because Russ took to the floor and got his teammates involved first. Russ was looking for everybody else before he was looking for his shot. Then, when it came to triple-double time in the fourth quarter, that's where we saw Russ go, okay, it's my game. This game's won. It's my time. Clear out. I'm going to take it to the rim. I'm going to rock the baby. We saw Russ put on a show in the fourth quarter. But the first 3 quarters, the start of this game was, I'm going to get everybody else involved. He got Maxime Raynaud going. He got Nick Clifford opportunities. Nick had a better first half than he had a second half. Got Precious Achiuwa going. Russell Westbrook set the tone of, we are going to play team basketball. The ball is going to move. And not only did Russ have the triple-double that he had last night, he had a double-double within like 21, 22 minutes, reached that 10-assist point that quickly. He had 10 assists before he had 10 shots, which is brilliant for Russ. Grabbed the rebounds later to get the triple-double. Didn't turn the ball over once.
That's what was crazy statistic.
That was vintage performance.
But the game that he played in before that, he was kind of showing a little bit of that too. He had a ton of assists in that game. I don't even remember who they played before. I'm at this point of the season. Yeah. And he had like 1 turnover or 2 I can't remember, but it was a low amount for Russ. And then he came out in this game and just took it to a next level. But yeah, I agree. I think like he played a different type of basketball early on, which kind of set the tone for other guys to like go get yours, or hey, we're going to really move the ball. Like we're really going to have good ball movement, get the energy going, which they started to set that tone early. And again, they never faltered really. Like, yeah, they came close at times, but it's really like they set that tone of like, this is how we're going to play Kings basketball tonight.
I don't want to focus too much on Russ, because we're going to talk more specifically about him in a later segment, because there's so much good from this game to talk about. But it wasn't like Russ took the floor and said, fine, I'm not going to shoot. I'm just going to pass the ball tonight. That's not what we're saying. It was, he made a conscious effort. I am going to run this offense. And I do not think that it is a coincidence that he had that approach when DeMar DeRozan was out.
Sure.
And people are going to misconstrue that. People are going to take that and clip that and take that out of context to suggest that what I'm saying is the Kings are better without DeMar DeRozan. It's not what I'm saying at all. One of my favorite games in recent memory was when the Kings beat the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas, the way that they played, Russell Westbrook was out in that game.
He had a thigh contusion
right.
or something, yeah.
But DeMar was in, and DeMar played kind of that facilitator role for those
We had
young
that
guys.
combo.
Kings got the win. DeMar looked fantastic. Now DeMar's out last night. Russell Westbrook steps into that role. And we've talked about this on the show before. If one of the two of those guys is on the court at all times with the young guys, that's perfect. That's good. You need to have veterans out there. You can't just have 5 guys that are 22 playing 48 minutes.
Right.
It's never going to work. It's going to look terrible. You need to have veterans out there to give them guidance. I've struggled with lineups when both of them are out there, and sometimes it's kind of the 2 of them, and then the other 3 are just kind of standing around watching a little bit. But Russ was very intentional about, I'm going to run this offense. I'm going to react to how the defense is reacting to me, which the Bulls were collapsing on everything. And that's where Russ just started farming assists on Maxime Raynaud, who showed off an elite skill last night. Max's ability as a fluid, skilled 7-foot center to find pockets of space in the paint to receive the ball and then put up that float shot or just that quick release shot that he has around the rim, show off that touch around the rim. That is an elite skill, which he used to perfection last night against Chicago.
Yeah, and I'll get to that in just a second, but I want to go back real quick to DeRozan and Westbrook. And again, maybe why it was frustrating. It is frustrating, I think, for like fans right now, because this roster from the get-go was just not good.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying about the talent. I'm saying about it was not
cohesive.
Yeah. Like there, and again, a lot of that was just there's leftover parts, and those leftover parts don't work together to make like what you need. And so it's easy sometimes when there's frustrations happening to say, okay, like, you're holding the ball too much. You're, shooting too much. And what's really the main point of all this is they don't have a choice that this is what the roster is. And it sucks because it's like, I do agree with you. Having DeMar and Russ out there does make it a little more sticky, right? We see a little bit more isolation ball, like where that's okay if there were other pieces and maybe like, I don't even know if that would be ever okay, to tell you the truth. But now we need the younger guys to feel comfortable and to start running the show a little bit. So when you have both of them out there, it can get difficult to do, but it's not their freaking fault. Like, they're asked to go out there and perform night in and night out, and that's all DeMar and Westbrook know how to do.
Yeah.
But it would make easier conversation and maybe easier for us to understand what this team is if there was one of them out there. And so I kind of get that point as well.
It's almost like a designated veteran position. It's like you are the designated vet. Go out there and you're the guy that they lean on. You're guiding. You're running things. Like, you don't have to be a point guard to be that designated veteran. Because we saw DeMar do that a number of times. And Russ has done that as well. And last night was a perfect example of that. So, but what did you think of Max's game?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think Max is literally developing before our eyes. And I'm going to go back to a conversation when this team started to be out of the playoff mix. And we said, again, what are you going to watch for? What is there to watch for? And some people are deciding not to go to the games, and that is their call. And they have every right to do that. But for those who are going to Golden One Center to watch this team right now, when it's really difficult, A, props to you.
Yeah.
B, I'm glad you got a win last night. I'm so stoked you guys got that.
The crowd was great. There was good energy last night.
It seemed like it. And C, I think you're starting to really get to witness somebody like Maxime Raynaud do this before your eyes. And that should be exciting. You shouldn't take that for granted, because I think he could eventually get to that place where he could be a starting center for this team. I love the way he plays. I love the passion he plays with. I think he's getting more comfortable. I'm excited to see him put on a little bit of muscle during the offseason to see if he can really take it to the next level. But, man, he should be a reason, if you want to go to the games, honestly, like, to watch him. Because he's really like performing in and day out, night in and night out, well, and he's entertaining.
You can just see him realizing, wait a minute, not only do I belong here, but there are things that I can do that people can't stop, or it's difficult for teams to stop. I love the fact that he had 3 block shots last night. And again, It's not him becoming Tyson Chandler or Serge Ibaka.
And I don't think that's fair to do.
No, it's not like, okay, I'm going to just become this goaltender at the rim.
Right.
That no one's getting past me. The dude's long as hell. He's 7 feet tall. He's got a massive wingspan. What we've seen him start to really develop is, okay, I know that I can use my wingspan to play passing lanes to get deflections. He started racking up the steals first. Now we're seeing him block shots. He's never going to be a high flyer. He's never going to be a freak athlete, but he can put his hands up, and rim protection isn't just blocking shots. It's changing shots.
Yeah, that's a
and
good
that's
point.
what I'm noticing a lot with Max is a guard is attacking him, and he's putting his hands up or cutting off a certain, and you force the guard to make a different decision. And sometimes they make it.
Yeah.
They're NBA players, elite offensive players. It is what it is. And there's certainly work that Max has to put in on defense. But he's developing and figuring out who I am as a natural 7-footer. I'm more of a skilled player than I am an athlete. When you see Dylan Cardwell play compared to Maxime Raynaud, you see two very different types of very effective centers.
Mm-hmm.
You see someone who's just a rim runner, physical. I'm not afraid to push you around. I'm a high flyer. I'll go up and catch lobs. I'll block shots. That's who he is. I'm an energy guy. And Max is I'm fluid. I'm skilled. I can get to my spots. I move well in the pick and roll. I can find those pockets in the defense where I'm ready to finish around the rim. That soft touch around the rim. Those look like easy shots. That's a skill.
Yeah,
that is an incredible skill that he has.
He makes it look really easy. I'm like thinking of those two types of centers like that you just described. And one, I'm hearing like the ballet music.
Yes, he's fluid.
And then the other one's like, like I know that's funny to hear, but like that's how I think of it when I watch Max. It is more of that fluidity and like it is like, this is weird to say, but I'm a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
I like grew up, dancing my whole life. So like the gracefulness to his game is a thing.
Well, at 11 o'clock, we're going to talk about Russ and the game that he had, why it was different, and how I can get behind that version of Russell Westbrook for another year in Sacramento if that's what we could guarantee we're getting. We're going to talk about Maxime Raynaud. Why isn't he a future starting center at this point? Because he's shown before our very eyes that he has that potential and then some. We haven't even talked about Malik Monk yet. Malik Monk turned back the clock to 6th man of the year for Beam Team Malik. I don't think he's part of the Kings' plans going forward, but we'll discuss whether he should be or not. I do want to touch really quickly on this before we go to break. DeMar DeRozan missing his first game of the season last night. It's a shame. I was really bummed about it because I wanted him to play and start in all 82. The dude is 36 years old. He played 64 straight games to start this season. His 17th season in the league. He's played over 2,000 minutes so far this season, and he's out not because he's banged up. He's got sick,
illness.
Man. It's like, damn.
But you can't help that kind of stuff. Like if you are literally, and that's the thing with DeMar. If he can't be out there, it must have been pretty bad. That's how I'd probably say it.
Yeah, but it doesn't taint, in my mind, anything that DeMar has done this season in terms of being the Iron Man that he's been. We'll take the break. When we come back, in addition to Kings hoops, there was a lot of college hoops. We'll update you on how Cam Boozer, Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsa, and Kingston Flemings did. Plus, checking in on a topic about the Miami of Ohio basketball team and what they were able to do. That's all coming up before Q&K. We've got so much to get to. NFL free agency is going off the chain. Kayla Anderson will share all of the details about that. It is a jam-packed Monday here on Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
This is the sound of Jack, buzz-cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack, every time he cuts his own hair, that's $50 right in his pocket. If Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy, Wells Fargo is right behind him. And with their mobile app, tracking his savings is easy. Oh, ouch. However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options. Heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
At Big O, we offer total auto care to make any car problem feel like no problem at all. We keep the scary lights off and help you get back on the road. Now through March 15th, get $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Nexen, Nitto, or Toyo tires with installation purchase. Plus, get our Healthy Car Care Special, which includes a tire rotation, alignment check, brake check, fluid check, and more. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation required. Disposal fees and shop fees extra were permitted. See store for pricing. Eligibility may vary. Not valid with other offers.
Logan Fury did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he bought a mini treadmill. Is walking on it during video conference calls more distracting than he thought? Yes. And is that because he overestimated his foot-eye coordination? Definitely. But it's Logan's savings, and if he wants to burn calories and any chance at a promotion, we say, good for you, Logan. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly with nationwide 5G because Cricket is on the AT&T network. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction.
Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, March 14th in Sacramento. Large farming and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies, all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
Sacramento! Now you've got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Football free agency is flying off the charts. Just wait for Kayla Anderson's 2-minute drill. In fact, so much was happening.
Yes.
We're like, we can't even wait for the 2-minute drill.
Right?
So coming up at 11:30, we're going to dive into some of the biggest stories in the NFL, especially in regards to free agency. We'll touch base on those a little bit. We have Kayla's 2-minute drill at 12:45, where she will run us through the biggest headlines around the NFL outside of the Niners and Raiders. At 1 o'clock, we're diving into the Max Crosby trade to the Baltimore Ravens. I'll share my thoughts on that from a wounded Raider fan point of view. Kayla will share an actual good, educated football opinion on that situation. We'll talk about the 49ers giving Eddie Pinheiro a bag. That was pretty cool to see, a kicker getting paid that way. And we'll talk about Trent Williams' situation. The Niners they don't have really any leverage in this situation, so it's not looking too great for them. I still think something will get done, but we'll talk about that at 1 o'clock. Lots of football to get to. I'm excited to talk about the World Baseball Classic, too, because I'm just starved for baseball and super excited about baseball, but the World Baseball Classic so far has been an absolute hit.
DR's playing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dominican Republic, I think they're up 6-1 on Israel right now.
Dude, they're such a good team.
My boy Tatis, grand slam. Oh,
I mean, all of our guys, Julio Rodriguez has played really well.
Yeah.
They're doing well.
So, big fan of the World Baseball Classic. But also this weekend, we had the end of the college basketball regular season. We got University of North Carolina, UNC versus Duke. Unfortunately, as we know, Caleb Wilson out for the rest of the season, had broke his thumb. I think it was his thumb, right? Broke something.
Yeah,
it was hand, thumb, something. Broke something. And he had to have surgery, which ended his college season, which is a real bummer because I think regardless of his draft lottery stock or anything, every college basketball player wants to participate in March Madness, right?
Why not?
And that national stage and the chaos of the tournament, so we won't get that. But the good news is he will be good to go for the pre-draft process.
Yep.
So he'll be able to participate in the combine and the individual workouts and stuff. So it's not like, are we drafting a wounded player? No, he's fine. And it's not a freak injury or anything like that. He'll be totally fine. We also saw, we're not really going to have time to touch on this at any other point, so I'll mention it now. Jason Tatum returned from his catastrophic injury, and he looks good. Like, that's always a great story.
Mm-hmm.
But in college basketball, Cam Boozer and the Duke Blue Devils just continue to be awesome. Cam, in Duke's convincing win, Cam, 26 points, 10 of 17 from the field, 2 of 4 from three-point range, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 turnover. The reality is, if you want a winner, if your top priority in this draft is I want a winner, Cam Boozer's your guy.
Yep.
He's just a straight winner.
Yeah.
He just knows how to win.
I think it's fair for Kings fans, and I can't speak for other markets, but it's fair for them to have the conversation like, who would you take if you had that number 1 overall pick? Because I think the theory for all of us, at least, I'm not speaking for all of us, but many of us has been, okay, if DP is there or AJ is there, we take one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, I don't think anybody is going to be unhappy if Cam Boozer falls into their laps.
Yeah.
If he does, in fact, go number 3 overall. But there's a good chance that he could go number 1 overall if a team really feels like that's their guy and he has what it takes to either help rebuild the franchise or add to a franchise like the Indiana Pacers, where you kind of have a little bit of a foundation as well. I'm not going to make excuses anymore for him having a low ceiling or a low, whatever the heck.
High floor.
High floor. He's got the leadership.
Yeah.
I get it if you want to take someone ahead of him if it's DP or AJ, but man, Cam's legit.
The biggest compliment you gave him, and you talked about this last week, he feels like an NBA veteran already,
yes.
and he's not in the NBA yet.
I feel like he's 25 years old and freshman
it's the
in
Carlos,
this class.
The Carlos Boozer effect, man.
I know.
He's just like his dad. He's just a winner. I realized this because I never heard the clip. I saw it, but I never heard it. But
I think we can play it if or does he not have it?
Kyle's on the phone. I don't remember where. I know it's in the group chat, but I never linked it into. That's where I'm saying, like, shame on me for show prep.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting, kind of trying to put these players into tiers.
I have to pull up the tweet because it put it, like I said, it had put it into categories.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was an interesting conversation, and I knew we were going to talk about all of these guys this morning. I have so much free agency news on my timeline that it's like overtaking everything.
Well, if you want to, again, we're doing show prep here live on the air. If you want to put that in the notes section or something, so Kyle can grab it and pull it, because I'd love to hear that.
Did I not put it in there? I thought I did, but maybe
you might have.
Okay.
You sent it to us in the group chat, and I just didn't do anything with it. Here it is.
So. Okay. So ESPN's Vince Goodwill says that after speaking with NBA executives, Darren Peterson is viewed as a multi-time All-Star talent level, but not necessarily a change-your-life franchise prospect. And then it kind of lists the prospects, and it says AJ DeBonsa, change-your-life superstar.
Yep.
Darren Peterson, multi-time All-Star. Cam Boozer, multi-time All-Star.
So Sam Tier is Darren Peterson,
exactly.
Cam Boozer.
/ elite number 2 option.
Oh.
And then Caleb Wilson, core piece.
Okay.
Franchise upside.
Okay.
So that's kind of how they listed these
And those
guys.
are his tiers,
Those
obviously.
are his tiers, yeah. But I thought that was interesting, putting them into tiers and kind of making you think a little bit different. And again, I don't know if that would be everybody else's tier.
Sure.
But I felt that was interesting. AJ's really the one in here that is change your life superstar.
Well, AJ did not have the best of games, but BYU got a stunning win
it's
over.
A huge win. Tech.
To end your season. Like, BYU's been sliding.
You know they never beat Tech before in the
Big
12?
No, I didn't know this.
Never beat them in the Big 12.
That's a sensational win.
That's
for
only
them.
been like 2 years.
I don't care.
Give them some momentum at the end of the season, and they've been floundering. We've been talking about when analyzing AJ, there's certain individual things that you're just like, oh, that needs work.
Sure.
But the one thing that we were talking about with AJ was like, hey, but how much is the winning player aspect? Because Cam Boozer is putting up numbers and impacting winning on the best team in basketball. Now, Duke also has a pedigree of being an incredible basketball school. BYU is trying to build that. So it's not necessarily even playing fields in that sense.
And I think conference, as much as I think that's weird me saying now that the ACC isn't as strong as the Big 12, it's facts.
Yeah, that plays a factor too. Now, AJ didn't have the best game in terms of numbers. 21 points, 8 of 25 from the field. That's not a good shooting performance. 1 of 6 from three-point range, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. BYU got the win, and AJ played every single minute.
40 minutes.
All 40 minutes of that game. So he gives credit, but it's not like he didn't have the same type of game that Darren Peterson had, which we'll get into in a second.
We'll talk with him in a minute. We'll talk with him. Yeah. Hey, DP's on the show today. Like, just to let everybody know. I'm going to grill him. I'm going to grill him. I'm joking. So what I did like about DeBonsa, though, is we've been talking about, like, willing your team to wins. Mm-hmm. And this was, again, not a team that was lower than them. They were the underdogs in this game. Like, there was a lot riding on, not a lot riding on it, but to get them right before tournament play, I think is big for a team like BYU and with a guy like AJ. But right before the half, I think he had some really good decisions in terms of his shot making right before the half that really kept them close to really get in it coming out of that second half. And then he was able to just do enough in the second half. And I believe Rob Wright, his teammate there, they were the ones that kind of kept it together in the second half in terms of scoring. But I liked that moment before before the half that really kept them in it, and that I gave credit to AJ for some of that.
It's a skill. It is a sign of a star to also be able to kind of be that right the ship, or like how many times with the Sacramento Kings specifically this year have we seen those the Kings poorly close out quarters, and it results in a huge run that either kills any Sacramento momentum or builds a massive lead. Funny enough, Doug Christie last night was very intentional about his timeouts. There was late in the second or third quarter, I can't remember specifically. I think the Bulls got back-to-back buckets, and Doug was immediately like, timeout, nope, we're not doing this. We're closing this quarter strong.
Has that been a thing for him this season? Timeout?
No,
okay.
Not really.
I was wondering. I was like, I feel like for the most part,
it felt like he was being very intentional last night about getting out in front of that and stopping that.
Yeah.
And I bring that up when talking about AJ DeBonsa, because having a guy that, okay, there's 2 minutes left, we're going to lean on you to close out this quarter the right way. You're not having the best of games, but you can hit a few buckets here to end the half, give us a little bit of momentum, right the ship, stop the bleeding, or just crawl back in a little bit. That is what a superstar does.
Yeah.
So to see AJ do that on a night where he wasn't having the best game, but he was able to hit some big shots and kind of right the ship and calm things down for BYU when it mattered, that was really important. We're up against it a little bit, but what do you think of Darren Peterson's game?
I wanted to really quickly talk about this because I give him a lot of grief. And again, I'm going to always stand on business because I still feel there's that part of it that's not been completely solved in my mind.
Sure.
However, he's taking steps to get in that direction. First of all, phenomenal performance, 27 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 20 minutes off the bench.
Yeah.
Off the bench.
29 minutes, yeah.
29 minutes off the bench. But he spoke after. And I think Bill Self said some stuff that I was like, okay, he's feeling really good. I think he's as healthy as he's been. And then Darren Peterson spoke, and he kind of joked about maybe one more year, which I laughed about. Somebody had asked him a question about that. But I think he was like, I'm ready. Like, we're excited for the tournament. I want to win here. I do love Kansas. Like, he's finally, like, speaking out a little more, which makes me, like, be like, okay, maybe it's clicked. Like, I've got to actually do more, and I've got to do more now, not just when I get to the NBA.
It was the offensive showcase we've been waiting for. It's hey, there's the unstoppable scorer that's going to have more points than he has minutes played. Like, that was the Darren Peterson. That was the number 1 overall pick Darren Peterson resume that he put on display.
Correct.
Now, he did it off the bench, but it doesn't matter. And he did it against Kansas State, a team that Kansas should beat, and Kansas beat him.
But we said they had to do that.
Right.
So I'm not going to take anything away from it.
It doesn't, at that point, you did your job.
Right.
Impressive game for him. Kingston Flemings, really quick, against Oklahoma State, 13 points, 6 of 15 from the field, 1 of 3 from three-point range, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal. Again, I don't know if I'm just being disrespectful. I'm just fine with Kingston Flemings. Like, if the Kings end up with him, it's like, okay, but I don't see a generational star in Kingston Flemings. I don't see a game-changing superstar or anything like that.
And real quick to add to that, watching some of that, like, I think there's some mechanic stuff that he needs work on with his shot. I think defensively, at times, he needs to improve that way in terms of being engaged, defensive. Like, there's just some things that, and there's stuff with all these players, but that's why I can't, like, if he's there, he's there.
Yep.
But then I'm also still like, is Acuff my guy? And I know he was banged up, so he couldn't play. And so that's a worry too.
The defense is the concern with Acuff, but if you're looking for superstar scoring potential, Acuff has it more than Flemings. Yeah, that 3-point shot, let me tell you. Also, really quick, shout out to Miami of Ohio.
Let's
a perfect
go!
31-0 season. Boy, they had to earn it, winning in overtime by 2 points against Ohio. That game was scary.
Jeez
but
Louise.
Miami of Ohio, a perfect season. We were talking about them on Friday. We'll take the break. When we come back, it's time for Q&K with Kayla Anderson. Matt and Kayla are rolling on a Monday here on Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-266-3845. Again, that's 800-266-3845. 800-266-3845.
At Planet Fitness, we're getting strong for the season's biggest games. Join now and your first month is free. Whether you're chasing a buzzer beater or your everyday goals, we've got next-level amenities like red light recovery and hydro massage to help you rebound and recover. Plus, with the PF Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime and access over 2,800 locations. Join now for $1 down, $24.99 a month, and get your first month free. No commitment. Deal ends Friday, March 13th. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing, mechanical bulls, and food trucks. Make it a lucky night out of live country music and dancing for your crew. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Residents in Cal Expo and Gornick Academy. More info at CITBfest.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
It's time for Q&K. Kayla's got questions. We've got answers. It's Q&K on Matt and Kayla.
It's a Monday. It's a Friday. That means it's Q&K time. Kayla Anderson, what's our Q&K to start this week?
There's never a rhyme or reason to how I pick questions.
It's just whatever's in the brain.
Yeah, if you've been listening to the show now, we've been around for about almost 2 months, to tell you the truth.
Are we at our 2-month anniversary? Close.
We're getting close. And so...
March 12th.
March 12th? Okay, so yeah, it's right around the corner.
We'll hit it on Thursday.
So sometimes, sometimes it can be football, sometimes it's college. I'm actually going to go NBA, but not the NBA you think I'm going to go.
Oh, okay.
You're going to have to put your thinking caps on and have a good response to this one, and maybe a creative response, because Mr. George Karl, y'all know him here.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah, you know him here in Sacramento.
Matt George's favorite coach.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, don't do that.
So when
I'm
I
in
saw
enough trouble as it is.
George Karl on X with this statement, which is honestly not crazy.
Oh, boy.
I was like, I got to put this in for my Q&K. So George Karl, 21 hours ago, tweets out that the NBA needs to add the ABA Heritage Games, bring back the Sonics, add a Vegas team, and move Memphis to Nashville and Minnesota to the East. Once that happens, the basketball gods will be happier again, and the league will be healthier and better. Is he not wrong?
Okay, so there's a lot there.
Yep.
So wait, there's 4 parts?
Move the
About that.
He said move the Memphis Grizzlies to Nashville?
Yep.
Okay. Bring the Sonics back 100%. And he, of course, is a long connection with the Sonics. He's 100% right about that. Vegas. Yeah, that's going to happen.
Okay.
So he's good on that.
Minnesota to the East.
I'm surprised he didn't mention New Orleans. Moving New Orleans.
I'm a little surprised, too.
New Orleans used to be in the East.
Yeah, I would put New Orleans in the East before I would put Minnesota. So I would disagree, I guess, with that.
Okay.
Although maybe, to George Karl's point, the argument for Minnesota over New Orleans is not so much geographically as much as it is in terms of like organization. Mm-hmm. Minnesota's the better organization, and in theory, you want the West to get a little bit weaker and the East to get a little bit stronger, not get the West stronger and give the East the worst team. Geographically, though, I would still move New Orleans to the East.
Yeah, geographically it makes more sense, but I kind of get the premise behind it.
Yeah, I don't hate that. What was the last part?
The ABA NBA Heritage Games.
The ABA NBA Heritage Games.
Sure. I don't
like it's like this is something from like the 70s.
Yeah,
right?
I don't.
Like if you go back and do the research on it, it was actually pretty cool.
George Karl also used to coach in the ABA too.
Well, sure.
So.
But my big question here is like, do you feel like the NBA could be healthier? And of course, by adding some of this stuff, do you feel like it realistically could be healthier with just even a couple of these things?
Oh, the NBA absolutely could be healthier. Again, I think Seattle, Vegas, 100% needs to happen.
I think Seattle has to come back. Like that's going to bring nostalgism, like all of that to the league again.
Yeah.
I mean,
that alone makes the NBA healthier. I would also add in like correcting or fixing this apron system because it's had good and pretty significant impacts on the league as a whole. I think the NBA already got healthier with how the All-Star game went off this year, and hopefully they can continue to build upon that momentum. Certainly the tanking conversation that we've had. So yes, the NBA absolutely can get healthier. George is on to some things with those.
I thought so too.
But it's not like he came up with them.
Well, no. But it's like we talk a lot about, things that we've been frustrated with this year with the NBA, right? Tanking, the trade deadline, it ended up being good, but it was kind of frustrating for majority of it.
It took a while.
Yeah, it did. And so I just felt like, okay, there are ways to make it better, and I want to see the league continue to grow the attention.
Yeah, the next big thing really is the expansion.
But why do we keep on, they kind of keep on pushing it off. And I'm like, why don't we just make this move happen, man?
There's the logistics of it, but I think there's also, financially, it's a significant thing. Plus the expansion drafts and stuff. That's the part I'm fascinated about is if you're going to do you roll both these new teams out at the same time? Do you do one at a time? Because if you
might be a lot to do both at the same time.
But having 2 expansion drafts in the better part of 3
But
years,
Seattle's ready to go. Vegas, I don't know where would they play?
They would play at
the T-Mobile Center.
Okay, so they'd potentially be ready to go.
I think both teams or both cities are pretty much ready to
go.
Both
are ready. They just need ownership groups.
Yeah, it's just when the NBA gets the ownership groups, gets all the fees taken care of, gets all that stuff handled, but the expansion drafts are going to be a big part of this because there's only a certain amount of players you can protect, and deeper teams are going to get killed for that. So we'll see, but it's only a matter of time. Expansion's going to happen, and I think it's going to be great for the league.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's for sure.
So help me out, Kayla. Geographically speaking, is Memphis further west from Nashville?
Yeah, technically, but not. Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay.
I think that's more so why he's saying that too, and I could be wrong. Look, Nashville is one of the biggest growing cities in the country, and is not slowing down. The problem with that is they I guess they technically could play. Bridgestone Arena was built as an NBA arena. That's where the Nashville Predators play. It was built as an NBA arena, and then they didn't get a team. And so, the press boxes are outside, like where all the crowd and the fans sit. So I guess they wouldn't really have to build another arena, but it's just like a poppin' city, and it's right downtown. Fans would be on board with an NBA. I think you just get more excitement. No offense to Memphis, I'm really not trying to knock them down, but it's bleak out there.
Yeah.
So here's an interesting thing on Karl's point. So I agree that the Grizzlies probably aren't going to last in Memphis because I don't think they're going to be able to get a new arena deal situation. But also, I would say if you move to Nashville, what if you just put the Nashville Grizzlies or Tennessee Grizzlies or whatever they would call them? What if you just put them in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, you could.
You could definitely do
that. You absolutely could.
You could.
100%.
Because I feel like that makes sense if you're trying to establish a new identity type of situation.
Yeah. I just think the NBA is going to try and prioritize competitive balance over geographics because it doesn't end up being that big of a difference in terms of flight times between New Orleans, Minnesota, Nashville. I think what's most important is making the East like the West a little bit more.
I agree.
So I think that's probably what the NBA will prioritize, but that could be either recency bias of which team is better right away or which team has the outlook or the likelihood of being the more consistent franchise going forward.
Yep.
To which I would put Minnesota over both New Orleans and Nashville in that sense. So
we got some big news. Should we wait till the break? Or
I wouldn't really consider this breaking news necessarily, but this is a big deal for the Raiders.
Yeah.
So if you want
to... you could go ahead.
No, the Raiders are signing center Tyler Linderbaum.
What are you talking about? It's not a big deal. This is a huge deal.
I mean, it's not like, wow.
Yes, it is. I am a big offensive line proponent. I had to learn to be back in Nashville because I did not give offensive line, credit. If you're a Raiders fan, I think this is a huge deal.
They're going to protect our boy.
He was the biggest name on the free agency block when it came to, I think, offensive linemen in general. He just happens to be the center.
Yep.
And Tyler Linderbaum is going to the Raiders. They ain't messing around.
$27 million a year.
Yes, and they've got money to spend.
He's 25. He's
the previous record was $18 million a year.
Yeah, the Raiders threw the bag. Hey, that's what they can do. Man. If they have the money, if they have the cap space, they can throw the bag to convince. And this is what they need to do. They need to bring in a line to not just, one, protect Fernando Mendoza, but block for freaking Genty, for God's sake, so he can get going. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited about this. I'm happy to see the Raiders spending money. I didn't know if it was like a massive breaking news type thing, but this is a big signing for the Raiders, a big swing for the Raiders, and that's what they should be doing right now. It's kind of win now, but also build to protect your future.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I like it. And he's 25, so there's no reason he can't play at a high level for the next 5+ years.
I didn't even like when we were talking about Linderbaum and like his landing places, I didn't even think the Raiders were in the mix for that. And there wasn't a lot of talk about that. So this kind of, for me, was a little bit of a shocker, but in a great way if you're a Raiders fan. Again, you can say overpay a little. I get you, Drew. But at the same time, I think that you have to put the money where your mouth is. And if you want to draft Fernando Mendoza and protect him and allow him to have some success, you've got to shore up that offensive line, and I think that's their first priority.
Overpaying to get people in the building when you have the most cap space in the NFL, that's called an advantage. That's what you do. Like, and time will tell whether or not the contract ends up being good, but this is what the Raiders had to do: spend money to get some bodies in the building, and it's a good start for them.
They just traded Max Crosby for Tyler Linderbaum and 2 first-round picks. That's pretty good.
Pretty damn good in my mind. We'll talk more, of course, about the Max Crosby trade. We'll talk about the Trent Williams situation. We got a ton of football stuff to get into here on this Monday. But when we come back, going back to the Sacramento Kings, I will tell you the specific difference that I saw with Russell Westbrook last night that turns me from a frustrated watcher of Russell Westbrook to okay, I can get excited about this. I can rally behind this. And we got to talk about Maxim Raynaud. Why isn't, at this point, he the future starting center of the Sacramento Kings? We'll discuss to start the 11 o'clock hour. It's Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
Sunoptics Prismatic Skylights in Sacramento salutes men and women of our law enforcement, tow truck operators, and EMTs who risk their lives on our highways getting motorists out of harm's way. Drivers, use caution and common sense. Let's get the first responders home safely to their families. This message courtesy of Sunoptics Prismatic Skylights in Sacramento, founded in 1978 and still going strong. They are the inventors of the modern prismatic skylight, currently installed worldwide in major retail stores, warehouses, and distribution centers. That's Sunoptics Prismatic Skylights of Sacramento.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free. Terrible tax, free edition only. Roughly 37% of filers qualify. Simple form 1040 returns only. Now this is tax.
Love that jam. Up next, commercials.
Intuit TurboTax Free Edition. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for Earned Income Tax Credit, Child Tax Credit, Student Loan Interest, and Schedule 1A.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
how do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, your Tennessee Titans just
You're
just
not
got
my Tennessee Titans.
your former team, the Tennessee Titans that you covered at one point in time.
And I still do follow them.
Of course.
closely.
You're always you never like stop low key rooting for the
For
teams
any
that you
of the
cover.
teams. None of them. I don't. I root for all the teams I've covered.
Yeah, you want them to succeed. You get to know people there.
Mhm.
And there are a lot of Niner fans that are rooting for the success of the Tennessee Titans because Robert Saleh is there now.
Right.
What are they, a rival? Who cares?
No, they're not really.
Doesn't matter. We will keep you up to date as much as we can on all the chaos that's happening in NFL free agency. We have a huge NFL free agency segment coming at 1 o'clock for you. We'll talk about everything that's happened so far today. Max Crosby being traded, the Trent Williams situation in San Francisco. In the next segment, we'll dive into a little bit of those and start talking about the headlines and each move as we can get through it. But we're returning to Sacramento Kings talk, Sacramento Kings basketball. For those of you who are just tuning in, I had a conversation with Russell Westbrook last night, very, very briefly. I got to shake his hand, chat with him shortly. We're going to sit down and talk more at some point, and I really appreciate him making time for me for that and being willing to have that conversation with me for that. He was very gracious, very nice. And then he went out and freaking balled out and put up a triple-double, a vintage Russell Westbrook performance. And like we laid out in that first segment, I mean, Russ has a triple-double. He had 10 assists at like 21, 22 minutes, and he had 10 assists before he had 10 shot attempts.
Right.
Right. Like that, to me, is the Russell Westbrook that that'll get me to run to the team store and buy a jersey right now. Like that is the version of Russell Westbrook that is okay, there it is.
Sure.
That's perfect for what I'm looking for. Now, I know I'm already getting it on social media, Kayla, and a lot of people are going to throw the accusations
Oh, you're
my
getting
way.
it already?
He's changing his tune. Russ called him out. He's changing his tune. Doesn't matter what I do, but I want to address that in the sense of, because I want to use that for the context of, hear the difference in what I'm saying.
Yep.
What Russ was last night is not the version of Russ that I've had a problem with. And I could say the same thing about DeMar, and I could say the same thing about Levine when he was playing. It's obviously
When did he play this year?
Well, it's been a while.
Sorry.
The veterans, when the veterans have been the priority and have played like the priority, that is what I've taken issue with. And what we saw from Russell Westbrook last night was Russ's priority was to run that team, not to be the team.
Correct.
Oh, well, at least from my perspective. I can't speak to his intent. And he was very clear about that. I don't know his intent. But what it looked like to me on the court was Russ took control of that team and he ran that offense like a future Hall of Famer and one of the best point guards in NBA history should. He got Max involved to where I thought Max was going to drop 30. He was getting Neek Clifford involved. Neek didn't have the greatest of games, but Neek was good in the first half. Russ was deferring to him. There was a breakaway where Russ easily could have gone to the rim, and he passed out to Neek. Now, Neek didn't end up doing anything with it.
But that's not the point we're trying to make.
You get my point.
For sure.
Like, I have been very, very vocally against the idea of Russell Westbrook being back with the Sacramento Kings next season because I did not necessarily want to subscribe to another year of Russ playing 35 plus minutes and taking 17, 18 shots. Now, technically, you could go, Matt, he did that last night in a Kings win when they want to lose. So isn't this what you're supposed to be frustrated about? But the difference in that with the context of the game is, again, Russ had a 12-point, 10-assist double-double, 21 minutes in. Again, he had 10 assists before he took 10 shots. That's a big difference to me. That is him establishing the team first. The Kings dominated that game from start to finish, arguably the most complete performance they've had this season. And then Russ said, I'm going to get this triple-double, and it's Russ time in the fourth quarter when it was time to put on a show because the game was already won. Right. Sign me up. I'm good with that. And if that's what you could promise me, that's what Russ is going to be if the Kings brought him back on another vet minimum deal or whatever it was next season, I have no idea if Russ wants to come back or not, or if the Kings even want him back.
Sure.
But if that's the version of Russ, you can say that's going to help the rebuild and lead the rebuild going forward, assuming the Kings don't draft a point guard. I'm all for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I want to start with like how you mentioned it just felt like a different tone set at the start of the game because we've seen them have good starts to games, but it's not carried out throughout the game. And it was interesting with only Russ being like the veteran, guy that was starting last night and not having DeMar in there. And I wish DeMar could play and didn't have to break his streak. I really do, because that's just phenomenal in its own right. But you did get to see, because you got to see it with DeMar when Russ was out, when they played Dallas. Now you got to kind of see with both of them not in there. And again, not both of their faults. Like, that they signed all these veterans or that they had all these veterans already on the team. That is not their freaking fault, man.
100%.
Like, they're going to play their game. But it did allow you to see maybe, okay, with Russell Westbrook as one of the only veterans or one of the few veterans, at least at the point guard or the guard position in a game, he can facilitate. He can create ball movement. He can get that vibe going from the jump that actually did carry then to the very end. But it's just really hard to see because we haven't seen it done much this year with all those veterans in there.
Right.
When, again, I talk about it, you don't see as much ball movement when you've got more of those veterans in there that they're taking the shots. And, again, it's not their fault, but it's like, okay, could we see a world where Russ was back next year if maybe DeMar's not on the team? I mean, Zach's going to be here still, likely.
Yeah.
So you'd have to think that. You're not getting rid of all of them.
Yeah.
But it does seem to work a little bit better in terms of what they're actually down the road looking for.
Yeah. I know a lot of Russell Westbrook fans obviously just started following the Kings and by proxy being subjected to my takes and my nonsense on social media and on the radio show or whatever for the first time, so they don't have this full context. But my frustration with the Kings stemmed back to well before Russ got here, which was the roster construction was horrible. It was bad last year, and the Kings chose to make it worse by trading for Zach LaVine. Now, where Scott Perry takes responsibility is, okay, you, instead of choosing to bring in Russell Westbrook or Dennis Schroeder, you chose to bring in both.
Yeah.
And that didn't work. If you had just brought in Dennis Schroeder, would it have been different? I don't know. If you had just brought in Russell Westbrook, would it have been different? I don't know. But obviously the Kings weren't set
They just said, bring them all in.
Well, I don't think they knew they were going to get Russ. Look how late it was before they signed him. Like, they clearly didn't have everything lined up right away. I think if Russ was ready to sign day one, maybe. I have no idea. Maybe they would have just signed him and never gone after Dennis Schroeder. I have no clue. But the roster construction is not Russell Westbrook's problem, nor is it DeMar DeRozan's problem. It's not even Zach LaVine's problem. It's not LaVine's fault that the Bulls paid him and the Kings decided to trade for that contract. The problem is, with the direction of where the Kings are going And the priorities of this organization going forward, at least in my mind, what I believe the priorities to be, and we've heard Doug Christie talk about prioritizing the young guys a little bit more. We've heard DeMar DeRozan say, this is Keegan Murray's team going forward. I'm just connecting the dots from the outside perspective on what I believe the priorities of the organization are. And that's focusing on developing the young guys, starting a rebuild so that 2, 3, 4 years from now, you can have and establish something like the Pistons or the Thunder that can make you into a perennial playoff team and a perennial contender for years to come. That work I want to start now. So when Russ and DeMar and Levine are leading the team in shot attempts,
it's hard.
It's counterproductive to that.
Yeah.
But that does not mean that any of those three, even Domantas Sabonis, throw him into the conversation. That does not mean that any of those 4 guys cannot participate in that. And we saw Russell Westbrook, at least in my mind, directly contributing to the development. We've seen how good he's been for Maxime Raynaud, but it was the whole damn team last night. Yeah. Russ ran that team perfectly. It was perfect. 0 turnovers, triple-double, made every right decision, dropping dimes, tying the Bulls' defense in knots. That was perfection from Russell Westbrook. And you don't think that A.J. DeBonsa could benefit playing next to that? Like, I'm speaking to myself here.
Yeah.
That performance was not just a Russell Westbrook FU to Matt George or whatever. I don't know if that was his motivation
maybe some of it was
or not.
inspired.
Maybe it was.
Yeah.
That, to me, was a Russell Westbrook, this is what I can be for a developing team. And that I can rally behind.
Yeah, and I think you do have to really think about next year. And there's a likeliness that you do get a top 3 pick and that you do take one of these guys that's not truly a point guard, right? There could be a world that you fall down to 5 or 6 and you get one of these guards or point guards that are there. But the question is you're probably going to have your point guard on this team next year. At least you're starting one. And if not, you're going to have to go make a move to bring somebody over here.
Yep.
And so there, I think, is realistically probably conversation that is being had behind the scenes with Westbrook in his camp. And this right here should make you feel a little bit better.
Sure.
If it is indeed whittled down with some of these other veterans not on the roster next year, because then we're going to be back in, I feel like, a similar situation.
100%.
But I think that it's something to think about. I would personally, my stance on Russ. I've been quite frank from the time that he's gotten here. I'm a freaking fan. Like, I just like the way the man plays in terms of the chip on his shoulder, the way, he goes at 37 years old still. But I agree with you. I think it has to be, you have to take other guys off the team for it to really, really benefit the team as a whole.
Russ played the way that he did with DeMar, Zach, and Domas not playing.
Right.
I'm not saying that Russ couldn't be that same type of player.
But it's hard.
But it's way more difficult with all those veterans. And I think the vast majority of the fan base, whether you like Russ or not, would admit, I would hope every Russell Westbrook fan who watched Kings basketball, was forced to watch Kings basketball this year because Russ is a King, would look at this and go, you can't do this again.
Yeah.
And I had already assumed that Russ would be the most likely one of the 4 veterans to not be back because he's not under contract and he's a league minimum player. But like, if you were to tell me, Matt, you can choose right now between all 4 of them being back with Russ running the offense the way that he did last night, or Russ is the veteran out of the 4, that the only veteran that the Kings don't bring back because he's the only one that they could, in theory, realistically move off of, I still would prefer the latter because I don't want to see all 4 of those veterans back next season because I don't think it's going to be good. But my opinion is if the Kings had their choice of who they would least like to get rid of out of the 4 veterans, Russ might be number 1 on that list.
That doesn't want to get rid of. Yeah.
As in, they don't want, he would be the last one they would choose to move on from financially and for reasons last night.
And look at, and you're going to have to continue, by the way, your team next year is going to have a lot of young players again. You're going to have your draft pick. I mean, this is not I don't think I'm overstating this. From what you've told me, with what the younger guys have said, what I witness in terms of how Russ leads, like, he is a natural leader and he's a natural motivator, and he's probably one of the better examples of, like, hey, go out here and do as I say, because he's doing it. He's actually doing it at 37 years old still. And you do want to have that kind of presence on a team when it's really young. But at what cost? Because, again, you've got all these freaking veterans. We get back to that situation where we talked about, like, the guard jam. It's just a veteran jam here in Sacramento. And it is hard to kind of see the future yet with all of those players still here. And, again, I feel like some of them can go and benefit themselves other places too, because it's just the time is not right for all of that.
Kayla, I think you've picked up on pretty quickly from working with myself, working with Carmichael Dave, and just being in this city. There is I'm not going to speak for everyone, but there is Dave put it brilliantly on Friday. It's like, you called it like everybody with purple neck braces. There's just this, and you've seen it with how I've been with the Raiders. There's just this inherent fear of something is going to go wrong. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
That doesn't always mean it's logical, but it exists just based off of what the Sacramento Kings fan base has gone through.
Sure.
So let me tell you what my biggest fear is.
Okay.
My biggest fear is not the Kings falling to 5 or 6 in the draft, although that would suck. My biggest fear is the same damn thing next season.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is these veterans coming back because the Kings cannot get rid of them because of the position that Vivek Ranadive put Scott Perry in. But Scott also knew it when he took the job. Now, I'm not saying that Scott hates these veterans and wants to dump these veterans, but I would say roster construction 101 and rebuild 101 is you got to move off of some of these guys. And that's not going to be easy to do at all. So my fear has always been and continues to be, regardless of how Russell Westbrook plays, if all 4 of those guys, I'm talking Russ, DeMar, Levine, and Sabonis, if all 4 of those guys are on this roster next season, even if AJ DeBonsa or Darren Peterson or Cam Boozer are here, and I assume Malik Monk will still be, I have no idea. If all 4 of those veterans are here, it's going to be very difficult for the Sacramento Kings to not be the exact same team.
Yeah.
And that should be terrifying to Kings fans. It sure as hell is for me.
You're not wrong. And we've been on this since the trade deadline, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I can't speak for, others, but I know our show was a proponent for, as much as we don't ever want to see guys go that have been here for a while, like a Domantas Sabonis, that have contributed. Even DeMar, like, I love DeMar. I love his game. I'm shocked that no teams were interested in him to make a playoff push, because I just think he's just a legit player. But it's not like we want him to go just because we didn't want him on the team. It's the fit is not here. And if you're trying to look towards the future and kind of rebuild this team, like, I don't know if that's your future, and you have to start making moves. And that's what we've been saying since the trade deadline.
Yep.
And now we're still in this position where we're like, oh yeah, Scott Perry has all this work to do this summer, but can he get any of it done? I don't know. We don't have a magic 8 ball to tell us that. I'm sure he hopes there's some moves that he can make, but we can't know that for sure. And so there is a possibility that all these guys are back. And then you have a chance to bring back Russ. I don't know.
Yeah.
Would that work?
I don't think it would.
And
it's not Russ specific.
No,
but
it's roster specific.
Right. It has nothing to do with each one of those guys specifically, although if there's an individual to hyper-focus on, I guess it's Zach. But again, I'm not like that. I'm not trying to single anybody out. Like, I'm dreading all 4 of them being back. I'm expecting 3 out of the 4 of them to be back.
Yeah.
I'm hoping 2 of the 4 of them will be back. Does that make sense? Because I think 1 out of the 4 of them coming back is a pipe dream.
Yeah,
so,
I do too.
Again, dreading all 4, expecting all 3, hoping for 2. And Russ has always been at the top of mind because of the 4 that's easiest to not bring back. It's Russ because he's not under contract.
And I think he can, again, I know he was a late sign here and everything. And, I don't know what went into the detail of that.
Right.
I feel like there's some team, though.
You would think.
Come on. I mean, I could be
but
wrong.
We thought the same thing, and we're going to get into a Malik Monk conversation later. It's still
about Malik Monk.
It's
I know.
still beyond me. Watching Malik play last night, he's still one of the freaking best six men in this league.
I don't get this at all.
And people that are calling it a bad contract, they're wounded by the apron system. His contract isn't bad.
Yeah,
he's paid like he is, which
That's
is
an
one of the
excuse.
best bench scorers in the league. Now, if you feel the league is going away from the smaller scoring guard, maybe you're right, and maybe that's what's hesitant. It does not make sense to me.
I don't give a
It's never
rat's
made
you
sense
know
to me.
what.
So if you were to tell me there's not going to be any market for Russell Westbrook next season, I'm going to be just as perplexed as I am with Malik. I was surprised the Kings were even able to get Russ, and I believe the Kings were only able to get Russ because nobody else wanted him. I can't speak, again, I'm not speaking for Russ's intent. Russ, I promise.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'm just purely speculating here. I would, if it were me and I'm Russell freaking Westbrook, I'm choosing almost every other team in the league over playing for the Sacramento Kings.
Well, also, there was already a point guard here.
Right. And it's a league minimum deal. Like, it's not like the Kings did what the Raiders just did and threw a bag to get him here.
Yeah.
No, it's a league minimum deal. So, but I have to believe, I'm with you. I have to believe that somebody out there, and it might, it's maybe the Kings again, somebody out there is going to give Russ another opportunity. Surely.
Yeah.
Like, he's not, I don't think he's done.
No.
So
I do kind of think he's done if it's not Sacramento. Because, like, who's going to watch this season and say, well, now we weren't interested last year. He hasn't played the role we're trying to fit him on a playoff team, so now we're going to go sign him.
Well, if general managers are listening to Matt
Are there
George,
a lot of rosters built like this one?
I just think that you made a great point last week, Matt, which is like this is the first time since probably Washington where they've just kind of said, let Russ be Russ type of situation. But if Russ is going to join another team, it's going to be either another team that just wants Russ to be Russ or a situation similar to the ones he's been in the past, and he hasn't really done anything this year that makes one of those teams look at him and say, well, we didn't want him last year, but now we want him to fit that
But
role.
teams change every year, too.
Teams change. Last year was a lot of scared money because of the apron system that I think spooked a lot of teams, and now teams are a little more interested. And never underestimate the power of, well, it was the Kings.
Yeah.
And
I'm telling you that's a thing too.
Every general manager looks at the Kings roster construction as like, that is a freaking nightmare.
Yeah.
And I would, even if people had the feelings on Russ's season similar to the feelings that I've had and I've expressed, there's always the element of common sense that says, well, what the hell was he supposed to do here?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to believe one team, because he's going to make league minimum money. Somebody, so I would imagine.
There's
maybe
no
it just
way he
is
doesn't
Sacramento
play next year.
But it was league minimum last year. Like, it wasn't an apron system question last year. It was literally any team in the league could have signed him for a league minimum contract, and nobody wanted him. And so I think that if it's not Sacramento next year, he is going to kind of be done.
Well,
I don't think so.
Unless there's a player, because remember when he signed, it was like Domas and some of the veterans were like, yes, we want Russell Westbrook. They voiced like, we want Russ on this team. Unless that's going to come from some other players around the league who have that respect for him, I don't think a general manager is going to be jumping to sign Russell Westbrook.
Let me address this really quick. From Blue Pool 69 on Sactown Sports 1140's comment section. 1140 scared to address the real problem. Vivek, don't want to lose those broadcast rights. What? Look, dude, I'm sick and tired of seeing these comments. Yes, we're the flagship radio station of the Sacramento Kings.
How many times have we talked about this on our station?
Every single show,
at least this show,
has acknowledged the fact that ownership is very largely responsible for the situation that the Sacramento Kings are in. The Zach LaVine trade, we know exactly where that came from. Why is it less of a conversation right now? Because every indication that we've been given, and if you're skeptical of this, I don't necessarily blame you. You might be a wait until I'll believe it when I see it type thing. But every indication we have gotten is that this is Scott Perry's full control, and Vivek is far out of the picture.
We've had this combo.
So we cannot have every conversation about every little problem that the Sacramento Kings have and just pick one party that you like the least to throw all the blame on. We've done that with coaches. We've done that with players. We've done that with ownership, and it gets you nowhere.
Yep.
The reality is with this organization, there's a tons of problems top to bottom that they have to work together collectively in order to figure it out. And that's what I believe they are trying to do.
It is fine to say, like, your opinions about ownership. You have a right as a fan to say whatever the hell you want. But for us, we've addressed this several times on this show, at least. I'm not going to speak for other shows. We've addressed it on this show. We've talked about it in a productive manner, mind you. But Matt's right. Like, we're not going to sit here and talk about it every single day. Like, that ain't getting us anywhere. And I get it. If you need to wait and see what ownership actually does to follow through with letting Scott Perry completely have full autonomy of everything, then that's fine. That's your opinion. But we have to do that too.
Yeah.
And we've got to move past that and allow the situation to happen and unfold now that Scott Perry is in charge and that it has been said that he has full autonomy.
Look, I've learned a lot over the last 3-4 days. And one thing that I've learned, I already kind of knew, but a lot of people don't want solutions. They just want to scream about the problem. They just want to be angry about something.
Well, it's a frustrating time.
It's a frustrating...
To be honest, it's a frustrating time. So I get some of it, but we're here to help you move past that a little.
100%. But the point is when we're having conversations about the issue, whether I think the issue is Russell Westbrook or I think the issue is how the Kings are playing or the roster construction or anything, talking about a problem with the intent to find a solution and figure something out versus just talking about a problem to scream and yell about a problem and get in fights, that gets you nowhere. Mm-hmm. So we appreciate the comment. I know a lot of people are very frustrated with ownership and have every right to be.
But we haven't ignored that on this show. That's what I'm going to say. Yes, this is AI Kayla speaking. I got pegged as AI Kayla last Friday.
You did.
You really don't know me then because I am far from AI.
Every single show.
Hey, Isla.
Every single show on this station has acknowledged ownership, has acknowledged coaching, even though Doug used to be on this station and we were friends of his, or some of us were, has acknowledged individual players, has acknowledged comments that the players have said directly to our faces.
And taking it in the chin.
Listen.
On the chin. Whatever they call it.
Nothing's out of balance. We all want the same damn thing for this organization, that for them to figure some things out. Well, we didn't get to the Maxim Raynaud conversation. We'll get to that later on in the show, but we got to take the break and get to NFL free agency talk, man. It's going crazy out there. Kayla Anderson, help me figure out what the hell's going on. It's Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Have you tried my Colombian tamales?
Yes, but the Mexican tamales I brought are way better.
Colombian tamales wrapped in plantain leaves are unmatched, you know.
But the Mexican tamales wrapped in corn husks are the authentic ones.
At least we can agree that they taste better with Pepsi.
Without a doubt, tamales deserve Pepsi. No matter what tamales you love, enter for a chance to win a year's worth of groceries. Powered by Pepsi. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 or over. Ends April 5th, 2026. Rules at PepsiPromo.com/free groceries. Pepsi is a registered trademark of Pepsi Co. Inc.
There are many reasons to choose Gonzalez Law Offices as a dedicated trial lawyer with an undefeated record from 2016 through 2019, and you'll know that no case is too big or too small. Due to his success, hard work, and commitment to excellence, attorney Jonathan Gonzalez has been listed in Super Lawyers Rising Stars, as well as in the top 40 under 40 list by national trial lawyers. You can find Gonzalez Law Office online at SACLegalDefense.com or call him at 916-304-9187.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Line dancing, mechanical bulls, and food trucks. Make it a lucky night out of live country music and dancing for your crew. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Residents in Cal Expo and Gornick Academy. More info at CITBfest.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
In golf, a tee can refer to the area where you hit your opening shot on any hole, or it can be the little piece of wood or plastic that holds your ball off the ground so you can hit your tee shot. Now, if you're not already confused, let me try harder. In earlier times, golfers made tees from little heaps of sand, and the sand was kept in little boxes called tee boxes, which gives us the historical connection and gets us back to where we started. Various types of reusable tees were invented over the years, made of rubber, cork, or paper. But the first commercial tee like we know today was the Ready Tee, invented by an American dentist in 1921. It was white wood with red tops, so they were easy to find. Today's tees are made of wood or plastic and come in many colors, and there are anti-slice tees, friction-free tees, brush tees, flexible tees, and even biodegradable tees. I'm partial to a tee with contrasting color measuring points, so my ball is teed up the same height every time. Check your local pro shop for lots of choices. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Kayla, things are happening around the NFL, and we're going to dive into a lot of this stuff coming up at 1 o'clock where we truly have time to let it breathe and get into everything because it's been crazy. Plus, we have Kayla's 2-minute drill just before that coming up at 12:45. But right now, let's just touch on some of the biggest headlines, biggest moves, biggest things that have come out of today. We're just going to start rattling them off and just start giving me your first quick thoughts on what's going down. Let's start with the 49ers. Trent Williams and the 49ers appear to be in a contract standoff. We heard rumors of this. Now, apparently, the Niners are open to trading him. They're nowhere close on a deal. Teams around the league feel that the Niners are lowballing Trent Williams, who has all of the leverage in this situation, especially after the season the Niners just went through with their offensive line.
Right.
And there's a shark circling in the name of the Kansas City Chiefs that are interested in going out and getting him if the Niners do indeed look to trade him. What do you make of what's going down with the Niners and Trent Williams right now?
Yeah, and speaking of the Chiefs, they are bringing back Travis Kelce, and they are bringing back my Seahawks MVP that they obviously did not decide to franchise tag. They are signing Kenneth Walker
It's a big deal
well.
for them.
So that's a huge deal for them. But when it comes to Trent Williams, and look, Kansas City is no scrub to knowing for the most part. I know they've had their years where their line's been beat up and there's been a down year here or there, but for the most part, like, it's always about protecting Patrick Mahomes as much as you can.
Right.
And by the way, Patty Mahomes is coming off of injury, so you want to do your best to have that line shored up. And Trent Williams is obviously one of the biggest names in terms of a left tackle in the league. And you know my theory, or my saying, left tackles don't grow on trees. And this is a really tough situation to be in because I guess it's been being reported that Williams is frustrated with the process. He's due $32 million in salary with a $38 million plus cap number. So right now it's just these numbers they can't come to grips on and terms on. And unfortunately, like, it starts to be, it's starting to feel like it's slipping a little bit away from Kansas or from the 49ers. And if they lose Trent Williams, like, whoa, that's just weird to think about him being in another place. But this is what happens when it's a business. But then they're going to have to address other things in terms of the line, man. They got to protect Brock Purdy.
We'll get into this later on when we talk more about this situation with the Niners, who have also been really quiet today in terms of free agency. But you got to stop acting like a wounded animal with all of the failed negotiations. You know who Trent Williams is. You know the situation that you're in. you got to just do it. You just got to do it.
You do. And I think what I still think they're feeling like they can hold on leverage to is in terms of, or not leverage necessarily, but they're telling themselves, well, he's 30-something years old. He's been healthy. It's been good, but it takes that 1 year.
Sure.
And so for them, they're telling themselves probably this too, like we can't budge.
But if you're negotiating hypothetical fear versus the reality of what he is for a team that's in the position that the Niners are in is foolish to me.
And this bet has been a problem with certain things with the Niners. That's the one thing I like the Niners, and I preach high things and praise of them. But this is one thing that sometimes when it comes to just making these deals work, it doesn't necessarily always happen.
And Kayla, if I'm Brock Purdy, I'm the franchise guy now. I know I've been in and out of the lineup with injuries and stuff like that, and I don't know how much of a I don't know if it's in Brock's personality to kind of throw his weight around a little bit.
I think
but
at
imagine
this point it should be.
if you're John Lynch and you have to tell Brock Purdy, hey, we're not bringing Trent Williams back.
Sure.
If I'm Brock, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Get this deal done.
The quarterbacks are the biggest proponent when it comes to the line, and Brock's been there enough. Like, I'd be in Lynch's office being like, all right, let's sit down for a sec.
Yeah.
John, let's discuss this.
Give him his money. I need him to keep me alive.
Yeah. And it's one less thing than you're going to have to shore up on the line, just knowing you have just a solid left tackle. And again, left tackles are just far and few between in terms of that much success.
From the YouTube comment section, Steven Castaneda, 2-minute drill going to hit different today. You got that right. Just wait. Kayla's been furiously scribbling notes.
The 20-minute drill.
It might as well be. It's going to be a whole damn game at this point with all the stuff that Kayla has to get through. You touched on it really briefly there, but Kenneth Walker going to the Kansas City Chiefs. I know, Kyle, you're very happy about that. The Super Bowl MVP going to Kansas City. A big pickup for them. Of course, Travis Kelce coming back too. The Chiefs have no interest in not being right back in the Super Bowl title picture, it sounds like.
Look, it's weird for them that they didn't make the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker was obviously the hottest name as a running back on the free agency market. He's got so much left in the tank. He proved that this last year. I challenged Kyle earlier today before the show and said, y'all need to shore up your wide receiver room.
Yes.
I know it's like the least when it comes to cap money. Like, they don't spend much on it, and there's just a lot of questions there. And I know Travis Kelce is coming back, but like, he's not the security blanket that he once was for Patrick Mahomes. And Kyle pushed back a little. Kyle, you were like, we should be okay.
Kayla, let me tell you, I've seen the Kansas City Chiefs win a Super Bowl with a bunch of bums. And Matt's got his hand up in the air.
We got breaking news, and we're a little late on
When
this.
it
I'm surprised we didn't
breaks,
see this.
We have it first.
It's Sactown Sports breaking news.
According to ESPN, former Buccaneers 6-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Mike Evans is expected to sign a 3-year deal with the San Francisco 49ers.
Wait, what? I did not see a 3-year deal coming from a 30-year-old wide receiver.
I mean, it's the NFL. 3-year deal is probably a 2-year deal, which is really a 1-year deal.
But I was more so hoping that they would get a little bit younger guy in the mix. But I get it. They like their guys that are pretty much ready to go, can come in here, can help lead. But Mike Evans has had some bumps and bruises here recently.
Also, the Raiders just gave Jalen Naylor a big contract.
Yeah, I just saw Naylor from the Minnesota Vikings wide receiver is hopping over to the Raiders. I'm not big on this one.
No.
I'm not. I don't really like this one. I really like Mike Evans. I think he's a hell of a wide receiver. He's built such a career for himself. I don't really like it.
I thought for a second, I saw Mike Evans. I'm like, oh, here's the Kansas City Chiefs. And then, nope, Niners.
Yeah.
I will say, Kayla, you may be a little scarred from watching the Titans go after this exact same free agent signing year after year, whether it was Robert Woods or DeAndre Hopkins or Julio Jones.
D-Hop was pretty decent there.
Yeah, no, but they kept bringing in the older wide receiver on like a prove-it contract type of situation. I think this actually is a really good signing by the 49ers.
In what way, though? Like, when the Niners are trying to really make a push and not just, like, I understand we've talked about the youth kind of having to bring in more youth. I think I know they're not in a complete rebuild or anything, but I just feel like adding a guy that has maybe a year left in him when you sign a 3-year deal, and I know you can get out of them.
Sure.
But I just think like there were other guys on the market, free agent market, that would have worked better.
I would say this, and let's just assume the 3-year deal, there's no guaranteed money in the third year, so they can get out of it after 2 years. That's like every NFL contract. If it's 2 years, Pearsall has 2 years at the cheap value right now before they have to think about signing him. So now you've got Evans at the X, you've got Pearsall in the slot. You can figure out the other position, whether it's Jacob Cowing, whether it's another free agent.
Welcome to EMS.
Yeah,
Mike Evans.
Yeah. I'm sure those injuries a little spooky.
I just feel like they just upgraded from Jawan Jennings to Mike Evans, and I get Evans had the injury history.
Evans is old.
But
so do you don't think Evans will be as good?
I don't think he's as healthy. I don't think he's going to be able to stay as healthy.
Let's say
I think he's a hell of a wide receiver. That's not my question.
Let's take health out of the question. I'm very curious on this. Take health out of the question for both of you.
Yeah.
Which is impossible to do with the Niners, but you could have had Jawan Jennings for the full season, completely healthy, versus Mike Evans for the full season.
How about Romeo Doubs?
Okay.
That's who I was looking at.
That's crazy. Romeo Doubs versus Mike Evans, who a year ago was still a 1,000-yard receiver.
Do you watch the trajectory of receivers and just like, I understand Evans was brought back inside, like for a reason, right? But
12 seasons in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I can't get behind 100%. Like when you had other opportunities to sign, maybe like a guy that's a lot younger who could maybe potentially grow with the organization, to a guy that I look at as almost like, oh, he'll be there for a year and I don't even know if he's going to play half the games.
So just going through games played with Mike Evans in his career, right? 15, 15, 16, 15, 16, 13, 16, 16, 15, 17, 14, and then 8 last season. But obviously he's now, how old is he? 33, 32 years old?
I think 33.
33 years old. In his 8 games that he played, 30 receptions, 368 yards, right? Like last season was a blip in the radar for compared to the career that he's had.
But he's not getting younger.
Right. Which is funny. Like,
I'm just looking. George Kittle's back. Well, like he's older. He's banged up.
What did we just talk about?
McCaffrey's not getting younger.
Mike Evans, in theory, makes sense in terms of plugging into this win now window. But then why are you hesitating with Trent Williams?
Well, yeah, it's just I don't understand sometimes like the philosophy, and maybe it works out perfectly, and I hope it does for them.
Yeah.
I just think there were better options out there. Maybe like what they're looking to do moving forward. And I'm not really about keeping Jennings there either. That wasn't really somebody I cared to keep there. I just thought there were other options out there. But, if he can make a difference next year and get him to the playoffs again, I'm all about it if he can stay healthy. Mike, again, I'm not a fan of Mike Evans. I just think for what the Niners are trying to do, this is more, to me, almost like a 1-year deal.
Pick a Side is coming up next. We might have to continue this conversation over there because I'm fascinated to like, hear from both of you. I might throw in a custom Pick a Side question. I'm really fascinated to hear from both of you, like what in your mind the projections would be or expectations would be for Mike Evans at this point of his career as the number one receiver in Santa Clara. We'll touch on that. Plus, we have to talk about Travis Kelce, Giannis Antetokounmpo. There's a lot coming in Pick a Side coming up next on Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
Contractors, remodelers, you now have a great supplier to assist you with your next project. Anova Cabinet and Stone in Sacramento. They are Northern California's best kitchen and bathroom remodeling supply store. Anova has the latest cabinet styles, a great selection of countertops, flooring, bathroom fixtures, and more. Visit their website, InnovaCabinetStone.com. Take advantage of their grand opening special, a $750 in-store credit. Stop by today, Innova Cabinet and Stone in Sacramento.
Running a business takes grit, vision, and a partner who believes in your success as much as you do. At Valley Strong Credit Union, business banking is built around you. The entrepreneurs, the growers, the dreamers, powering our community. Whether you need flexible checking, faster payments, or financing to take your next big step, Valley Strong brings local expertise and real relationships to every stage of your business. Because when local businesses thrive, the whole valley grows stronger. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your business, grow your future. ValleyStrong.com/business.
This is your Sierra Tahoe Mountain Conditions Report. The forecast includes sunshine and smiles with highs reaching 55 degrees. When the laps are done, Head to the pub for happy hours starting at 3 p.m. every day. You've earned it. For the latest updates on conditions, lifts, and terrain, be sure to check the snow report on our website at sierratahoe.com. Sunshine, good vibes, relax. You're at Sierra.
Ride more, stress less. Sierra Tahoe is your closest, most affordable mountain escape from Sacramento or the Bay Area. From powder days to park laps, every run delivers that signature Sierra vibe. Real, friendly, and fun. Season passes start at $459 and save up to 40% on lift tickets and lessons when you book online in advance. Skip the long drive and high prices. Plan your trip today at sierratahoe.com. That's sierratahoe.com.
Sacramento! Now you've got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
Pick a side, any side. It's time for Pick a Side on Matt and Kayla.
Oh, I'm hijacking Pick a Side a little bit here. We have other topics to get to, of course, but this Mike Evans conversation is hot off the press. If you missed it, after 12 seasons as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, Mike Evans has signed a 3-year deal with the San Francisco 49ers. We have not yet gotten the dollar figures, what the guaranteed money is. That might change the tone a little bit in a positive or negative way as soon as we get those numbers when they come out. But let me throw out the first Pick a Side question, to both of you. Because we were having this conversation a little bit last segment, spilled over the break. The Pick a Side question is simple. Will Mike Evans next season be better than Juwan Jennings?
Oof.
That's the question.
It's a lot of predicting there.
It's a lot of hypotheticals. It's based off of the career Mike Evans has had, but the age versus Juwan Jennings has been ramping up, has had a really good season. He's worth a lot of money, we imagine.
So just for reference, Juwan Jennings last year, 15 games, had 90 targets, 55 catches, 643 yards. It's about 12 per catch, basically, which was actually the lowest he's had in a few years.
You know, let me adjust the question a little bit, because I think I want to make sure it's on the right trajectory to what I'm thinking. What you just laid out there, the production that Juwan Jennings had for the Niners last season as essentially their top receiver. Will Mike Evans be better than that? Or will it be around the same, or will it be worse than that?
If Mike Evans were coming off of a season, again, let me remind you, he's 32 years old. I'm not just saying this because he's 32 years old and, he's over the hill. I'm not saying that. I see a pattern when covering teams that start to sign names. And he is one of the biggest names in terms of what he's done in his career. It's a hell of a career. There's a point where you start to take a decline, and it takes sometimes a season like last year where there's an injury, where he played just 8 games. He had 30 receptions for 368 yards, 3 touchdowns. I get it. It was a year, you could say it's a knockoff. He was hurt. He was going to come back. He can be good. But if I were to know he played last year, he was good to go, maybe he missed a couple games, I'd say, yeah, for sure, Mike Evans is going to have a huge year.
Yeah.
He's in a great system with Shanahan. I feel like he's a good fit that wise. My only hesitancy, guys, in this whole entire thing is I just feel like there's going to be a point where you start to go on a decline, and I feel this is about the time when you come off an injury. You're 32 years old, going to be 33, and you're going to be expected to pretty much be the number one guy. And by the way, my other point to this is Ricky Pearsall is also always banged up. It's a little bit hard to do that and take a roll of the dice on guys that don't have a lot left on their runway.
There's definitely a hope element to it, right? And what you're saying is, with all the time, all the years that you've spent covering the NFL very, very closely, this is setting off alarm bells more than it's telling you good signing.
A little bit, and more so also in the fact with what's already on the roster for the Niners. And again, a guy that's supposed to be your number one in Ricky Pearsall who can't stay healthy. So then now what if both of them are down? And I can do that, play that all I want down the road, but I'm just saying, you do have to take it into account when there were other younger guys out there that I feel like maybe could have been better. So
I guess I'm not looking at it as like a number 1 or a number 2. I'm looking at it more as like he's an outside receiver and Pearsall is now your dedicated slot receiver. And that's the offense that they're going to run. The last couple of years, ignoring the year where everyone got hurt in 2024. So last year, Jennings had that, again, we said like 55 catches, 700 yards, 9 touchdowns last year. In 2023, the Super Bowl year, Brandon Ayuk had like 1,300 yards, over 100 catches. It was the season that got him the giant contract that he got and then lost because he didn't show up to mandatory events and stuff. I think if Mike Evans is somewhere in between those two, and I'm assuming the money's somewhere between like 10 and 15 million a year. If he's somewhere in between what Jennings was last year and Ayuk was 3 years ago, that is a very successful signing by the 49ers. And I get injury concern as part of it too.
It's age too, Kyle.
Yeah, totally. And I don't know if him being a 1 or a 2 is as important because, again, if Pearsall is going to be more of a catch guy and he's going to be more of a deep threat outside guy.
But I'm looking at it as
worse.
just depth in the room, period. Not 1 or 2 or anything. Just like being able to have those available receivers where they don't have to turn to McCaffrey again this year and say, oh, McCaffrey, we need you to lead all wide receivers as a running back.
Juwan Jennings.
That's kind of what I'm speaking to.
Jennings was reliable for the Niners because they had no other choice with all the other injuries.
Yeah, he's not a 1. I don't think he's a 1 naturally.
And they still had to lean on McCaffrey as much as they did.
Yeah.
So now you're replacing Juwan Jennings with an older name. So the concern, I hear what you're saying, Kayla. The concern is if you have to rely on Mike Evans again because Pearsall's banged up,
Which I think you're going to, guys.
Then there's a concern that he's not going to be able to hold up the same way. I hear the concern. We have no idea, of course, but if there's a team to be concerned about injury issues, it's the 49ers.
Yes, it's just the whole thing for me is I think old. And I think when I think of the Niners, I think like they're not getting younger. And like that's a little bit of a concern in my mind. Like you got to get younger at some point without trying to just do it as a rebuild. So if there's options to sign a younger guy, like, yeah, they'll probably draft a guy too. So maybe that's what they're thinking. Like, we have him on here. If we need to let him go 2 years into the contract, we can. So I'm excited. If 49ers love it, and I don't hate it, I just think that there were better options out there. That's all I'm saying.
Now, what if the Niners prioritize a wide receiver still in one of the first 2 rounds in the draft?
Yeah.
Does that make it any better,
They
worse?
have to get younger at some point at that position and not just Pearsall.
I don't know.
Pearsall hasn't necessarily proven yet
he's
can be
not
that
consistent
guy,
yet.
I don't know if they need to do it that early, though, because they're bringing back DeMarcus Robinson. They're bringing back Jacob Cowing. Kendrick Bourne is still a free agent if you theoretically wanted to sign him for a minimum deal. Like, I think they should probably use like a 4th or a 5th or a 6th.
You cannot rely on George Kittle and McCaffrey to take as many snaps as they have. George Kittle will not stay healthy, and you don't want McCaffrey getting hurt again.
Well, Kittle's also not going to
surprised
play
he
to start
didn't.
the season because of the Achilles.
Right, but he will play at some point.
Yeah.
And there's my point again. You're not going to have Kittle start the season.
Yep. Well, we're going to have to revisit this topic in crosstalk because Alan Stiles likes the signing, and I'm just curious like what his thoughts are with that. It's
great.
Hey, it's polarizing. It's great for radio, and it's fun.
Again, the signing.
No.
I think there were better options out there.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
And we talked about Romeo Doubs a lot last week as well. I thought that was going to be maybe an ideal pick for them, but Mike Evans is a San Francisco 49er. We're still waiting on the exact financial details of that deal. But all right, Kyle, I'm passing the ball back to you for pick side question number 2.
All right. Well, speaking of tight ends that are often injured, Travis Kelce is going back to the Kansas City Chiefs. Are we saying this is a good move or a bad move?
I think it's a good move because personally, like it's up to Travis, right? Like if Travis still feels like he wants to play, and obviously from what we're seeing with the Chiefs, they have no interest in taking a handful of years to get right back to where they were. I don't know if I'm ready to label the Chiefs like, oh, they got Kenneth Walker and Travis Kelce's back, put them in the Super Bowl, but they're going to compete for the AFC West title again, or they should, assuming they stay healthy, knock on wood. Even if I don't like Patrick Mahomes, I don't want him hurt. Like, Travis can still be, he's not going to be the superstar tight end that he was a handful of years ago, but in terms of a reliable option that Patrick Mahomes knows like the back of his hand, I think it's fine. It's good to keep going, and I think Travis Kelce is good for the NFL, so I'm all for it.
That he is. He definitely is. I think, like, it's not my no, it's not my time to say, like, you have to retire.
Right.
And if I truly feel like this would probably be, in theory, if you're on outsider looking in, best time to retire. You're about to get married, probably have some kids, whatever. That ain't my business to say that, because I know if someone were to tell me that, I'd be like, go skip rocks. Like, seriously. So
You'd say something worse than that, but you can't say it on the radio.
I would. And so I think it's cool. I think if they want to bring him back and he can retire at Kansas City Chiefs, I would never want him to retire anything else. And I'm sure that goes into it too. Like, you never want to go see Travis retire or play his last season somewhere else. And so I'm okay with it, actually. I think his production has clearly gone down, but if they have other options for Patrick and he doesn't have to be a safety blanket, I'm cool with it.
What about you, Chiefs fan Kyle?
You guys know I talked about this before the show, but in my mind, I'm like the Colin Cowherd meme where I'm like, Travis, we're good here. Like, good that you want to keep going, sure. But and he could probably still be a productive spot player, but I'm just like, we gave you the send-off. You're about to get married. The team is kind of in a turnover phase because of how bad last season was. I just feel like Travis coming back is going to prevent them from finding the next Travis Kelce. And I get it. Travis Kelce's one of the best tight ends ever. I'm not saying they're going to be able to replace him. I'm just saying this is a good exit ramp for Travis as the Chiefs are about to reinvent their entire roster going into next season. This feels like a good time for you to leave. We gave you the send-off. I feel like Travis should probably go.
The Chiefs do have to do right by Travis, though.
These fools up here.
Dominican Republic.
I love these guys. They're just doing a little dancing. They advanced to the quarterfinals just now.
10-1.
Those guys.
Dominant.
They're
Dominican
just dancing
Republic
on the field.
The World Baseball Classic is fantastic. We'll talk about the World Baseball Classic a little bit later on. But in terms of Travis Kelce, like, the Chiefs as an organization, he's a Chiefs legend. All the Super Bowls that he's won there, like, as long as he wants to keep playing, the Chiefs pretty much just have to say, all right. And
kind of do.
Just, it is what it is. He's that legend status. He's earned that there in Kansas City. We will take the break. When we come back to Sacramento Kings talk, as it is lunch break. You want to call in? Because we have some questions for you. 916-339-1140. Is the tank in trouble? How do we handle wins from here on out? Plus, why isn't Maxime Raynaud a starting center based off of what we've seen? Or why can't he be? We'll discuss and more. Plus, we got to talk a little bit about Malik Monk and Daquan Plowden, too. It's all coming up to start lunch break here. Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Have you tried my Colombian tamales?
Yes, but the Mexican tamales I brought are way better.
Colombian tamales wrapped in plantain leaves are unmatched, you know.
But the Mexican tamales wrapped in corn husks are the authentic ones.
At least we can agree that they taste better with Pepsi.
Without a doubt, tamales deserve Pepsi. No matter what tamales you love, enter for a chance to win a year's worth of groceries. Powered by Pepsi. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 or over. Ends April 5th, 2026. Rules at PepsiPromo.com/free groceries. Pepsi is a registered trademark of Pepsi. Go Inc.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Imran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
A's fans, the 2026 season is coming fast, and single game tickets are on sale now. Be there for an exciting season packed with theme days, giveaways, and firework nights, including bobbleheads, jerseys, hats, and much more. And getting in is easier than ever. Tickets start at just $8 for select April and May games. From opening day to unforgettable summer nights, there's something for everyone at the ballpark. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/tickets and be part of the excitement this this 2026 season.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return, but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though. I'm freaking out. Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
KHD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. It's time for the lunch break. Your calls, your thoughts, your segment. Call or text us at 916-339-1140. It's the lunch break on Matt and Kayla.
One more thing real quick on the Mike Evans signing with the San Francisco 49ers, according to Adam Schefter. The deal is worth up to $60.4 million per source. Again, a 3-year deal worth up to $60.4 million. We don't know what it is per year. We don't know what the guaranteed money is yet, but the dollar figures will absolutely play a factor in this Mike Evans signing because there's certainly a risk element to it. There's definitely a reward element to it. But how much are you investing in a, 33-year-old
32.
Wide receiver?
Going to be 33.
Hey, in terms of a win-now talent, he is that, hoping he stays healthy, knock on wood.
Yeah, I like Mike Evans. Like, he has had one incredible career.
Great for me in fantasy.
But I'm going to have my reservations.
Sure.
And again, we'll probably talk about this more in the show tomorrow, too. We'll possibly get a guest on.
Working on it.
Who covers the Niners and get their thoughts on it. I'm also interested to see what national media starts to say about it, too. But, yeah, good for them, though. I mean, if they feel like that can be a guy who can stay on the field for them and, he's a guy that can get double-teamed a lot and that opens up Pearsall or some of these other wide receivers, I'm sure they'll add another one.
Brian Peacock of Locked On 49ers will join
Perfect.
us tomorrow at 11:05 to talk about all these free agency things. I'm sure we have to talk about the Trent Williams thing with him, too.
Yeah, and that might happen in a matter of a day. We might see something happen tomorrow with that. Could be interesting. It's a fun time right now.
Hey, NFL free agency is crazy. I'm just watching Kayla just scribble notes. I'm amazed you haven't broken your pen.
Well,
just slamming notes over there.
A good thing I'm not wearing like a gray shirt, and then you could just see
you're just sweating bullets over there.
Yeah,
Kayla looks like she's playing.
When I get nervous, yeah, I go. It's like the adrenaline.
On the next break, I kind of want to see what Kayla's notepad looks like.
You guys, let me just show you.
It's chicken scratch, but so is mine.
This is ridiculous. Like, this is just notes after notes after flipping my notepads.
Yep.
Like, it's bad.
I can't read a word of it, but those are the best notes.
They are.
When you take notes that only you can read, they're for you.
I don't subscribe in perfect handwriting note.
Of course.
Taken.
Yeah, if you like some people, like Brendan Nunes he has
great handwriting.
Handwriting.
I think I've seen.
But it takes him time to write everything. He's very artistic with it. I'm just like.
Yeah, mine's like, and it's like going up the page.
Yeah,
and
it's
smaller.
out of the lines, gets smaller because you're cramming it in. You get the bullet point. Oh yeah,
Yep,
I'm the exact same way.
exactly.
Switching gears back to the Sacramento Kings. Kings beat the Chicago Bulls last night. If you're just tuning in, we talked a lot about Russell Westbrook already. I gave an update on the situation with Russell Westbrook. Looking forward to having more of a conversation with him coming up in a little bit. But we did get to chat last night. He put on a show last night. We talked about that a lot earlier on. If you want to go and check that out, you absolutely can do that. But we're going to switch the gears and turn the attention away from Russ specifically. We're going to talk about Max in a little bit. But the Kings win last night. It was needed. Snapped a 9-game home losing skid. Their first home win since January 16th. And considering everything that happened on Thursday, it was a feel-good, needed boost, I think, in that Kings locker room and amongst this Kings fan base. However, of course, there are tankathon ramifications.
Yes, there are. Oh, yes.
The Sacramento Kings have a 15-50 record. That ain't good. I don't know if you knew that.
I was going to say, in any other world, that would be like, oh, aren't you the number one team
by
to
a
tank?
mile.
Yeah, or at the top of the tank?
Nope. Well, they are still at the top.
Technically.
But barely.
Yeah.
The Indiana Pacers are 15-49. Half a game back of the Kings in the tankathon standings. Now, remember, with the flattened lottery odds, the top 3 teams, technically the bottom 3 teams, but if we're talking about top tank standings, the top 3 teams all have the same odds. 14% number 1 overall, 52.1% into the top 4.
Yep.
However, where it's different is if you are the number 1 pick or the number 1 worst record in the league, the furthest you can fall is 5. Number 2 is 6. Number 3 is 7. So on and so forth. Actually, the way it stands right now, in a funny way, is actually really benefiting Sacramento and Indiana because Washington and Brooklyn are both tied at that 3rd spot, which means their odds at the number 1 overall pick drop to 13.3% and 13.2%. So it even gives kind of a little bit of a boost, kind of, not really, to the Sacramento Kings. But regardless, the Kings are only a half a game above the Pacers in the tankathon standings, and the Pacers and the Kings play tomorrow night inside the Golden One Center. Based off of what we just saw, Kayla, I think the Kings are winning that game.
You aren't wrong. And again, there's always a little bit of I even think Alan, when we did crosstalk on Friday, had pretty much predicted this win.
He said this last night, too. He said the Tank's cooked.
Yeah. And so now I'm thinking, okay, how much does this Westbrook rallying the team carry over to tomorrow night and, the juice that comes along with it that they maybe found here for their homestand. And I don't know, but I do know this. Indiana right now is not a good team. And looking at the way they've played lately, they're not even close to being a better team than what Sacramento is.
And again, they have
at home here at least, when they're playing on their own home court.
And they have very specific reasons to tank because if that pick falls out of the top 4, they lose it.
And that to me is tragic for that organ. That sucks to have that weighing on you. You're tanking for a whole nother reason.
Yep.
And that to me gives them a lot more motivation. Yes, it does, to tank.
So as of right now, with the Pacers in so Matt, why would the Pacers fight so hard for number 1?
Right.
Because if the lottery ended the way that it did with the Pacers in 2nd, that means there are 2 spots that they could drop to where they lose their pick. If they catch the Kings, pass the Kings, and have the worst record in the NBA, there's only 1 spot that they could fall to where they lose their pick. It's not mathematically a monstrous difference, but it matters.
But you want to make it as easy as possible.
Right.
The Pacers need to finish with one of the 3 worst records because then it guarantees them that 52% chance to keep their pick. They don't care whether they're 1, 2, or 3. They just have to be 1, 2, or 3.
Yes, I do think they're going to want to, though, build as much of a safety net as they possibly can from the Wizards and the Nets and the Sacramento Kings to where losing a game like tomorrow night's game is essential for that tank.
Yeah, my only point is just literally mathematically, it does not matter if they're 1, 2, or 3. They just have to be either 1, 2, or 3.
Regardless, the Kings are in rough shape to... I feel, hold on to that spot.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about it last week. I don't know whether this is part of it what got me in trouble or not, but like we joked about the immoral versus the moral tank, right? Where for so much of the season,
That
the
might
Kings,
have been the conversation that did it.
I don't know. I'll find out. But the Kings have not been just blatantly trying to lose. They've been playing and just been bad.
Yeah.
You could say the same thing with the Brooklyn Nets. They're just bad. The Pacers are very motivated to lose right now, plus the injury to Tyrese Halliburton this entire season, so that kind of put them in that situation. There's no way the Pacers are this bad. The Brooklyn Dallas Mavericks or Utah Jazz, like they're in theory not this bad. Like there's a difference there. But when we talk about the immoral tank, like that's what might need to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you want to lose to the Pacers. Now, if you don't care, run the same lineup out there and the same amount of minutes that you did last night. Maybe DeMar DeRozan is back from his illness. Maybe he's not. And beat the Pacers by 20, because that's probably what you're going to do.
Man, this is a hard one because it's really hard. I'm going to be honest. It's hard having tanking conversations, guys.
It sucks.
This is not how I, as a competitor in life, go through things. Like, I want to beat the you-know-what out of anybody at any time.
Yeah.
And so it's hard having this so much this year in terms of these conversations. But I also am in, the mindset of I understand, and it's the reality of the situation, because all you're thinking about is how can I better myself, better my team moving forward to have the best opportunity to get the player we really want. Mm-hmm. And Doug probably does not think that at all, but Scott probably thinks that a little bit. So there's all this disconnect with that part of it,
right,
even though they might be on the same page with the conversations they have and how you go about this. But the players aren't involved. Like, the players are going to go out there and they want to win every freaking night. It doesn't matter to them. Mm-hmm. They're going out there to see their numbers, grow if you're a youth player. They want to win in front of the home crowd. So it's like there's so much that goes into a tank that it's hard to wrap your mind around how they approach these kind of games that are coming up with Indiana, because they know Indiana is a bad team. But there's something at stake. I don't know how they're going to handle this, Matt. I don't know what the lineup's going to look like. I'm assuming DeMar DeRozan's going to be back in there. So does that organically help them not win the game? Because not saying DeMar is going to be bad for them, but we see the same scenario with maybe, not more ball movement like we saw in the last game, or when one of them's playing in DeMar versus Westbrook playing, but not both of them playing. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
What's the strategy for tanking?
Well,
I don't know.
Malik Monk played 31 minutes last night. Russell Westbrook played 35 minutes last night. Precious Achiuwa played 39 minutes last night. If these guys are going to play this much, you're probably going to beat the Pacers. So is it
100%?
Doug was very intentional against New Orleans and against Chicago that I'm going to get these guys out there. Remember, against New Orleans, the end of that New Orleans game, I believe it was the New Orleans game, he had an all-veteran closing lineup out there. Max and Neek weren't out there to close. Now, one of the reasons behind that is, like Jake Gayden suggested, potentially tired legs. Mm-hmm. But could another, again, just speaking hypothetically here, trying to figure it out, connect the dots, could another be, hey, I'm going to use these games to play you veterans a lot because we have some games coming up where it's not in our best interest to play you a lot.
And that's a good point, too.
I don't know if that's how Doug's thinking, but that could be a justification.
I'm just curious to see, again, with probably DeMar back healthy. I hope he's not still sick. I hope he's not something bad like that. I really do feel like, okay, what is that starting lineup going to be, and what do you decide to do if it's close in the fourth quarter? But it could be a thing where it's never close, and then we're thinking, okay, now we're really getting close in terms of the Pacers and the Kings, like right there in terms of battling for that worst team.
I'm sorry if my facial expressions threw you off.
I was like, what is he doing?
This is not worthy of breaking news, but you'll like this. The Titans are signing ex-Broncos defensive end John Franklin Myers.
Oh, yeah.
Per sources.
He was connected there. That was something that they were looking to do. Yeah,
there you
that's
go.
a good signing.
So
right
it just
there.
caught my mind while I was seeing our friend Diane.
And we will eventually get her on once free agency cools down a little. She's so busy right now.
She gets a break, for God's sake.
But we'll have her on again.
Hopefully she found a beach for a little bit before free
No,
agency
that won't
started.
be until summer.
May or June, you know?
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, I just think it's such a difficult conversation to have. And it's difficult. Again, nothing's come easy for the Kings this year because they've had one of the easier schedules down the stretch. So instead of I don't think we'd be having this conversation as much if we were playing a harder schedule down the stretch. But it's not.
That's where I'd like to hear from you Kings fans. Call in 916-339-1140. Where are you at? Because in the comment section of the podcast last night, it was I wanted to enjoy this, but there's this lingering in the background of we want to lose games. I want to enjoy Russ's triple-double, but don't we want to lose games? And I also want to know, if it were to come out, it would almost be, I think it would tick people off, but it almost would be a relief maybe if the Doug Christie and the Kings were to come out and just say, we don't give a damn about draft lottery odds. We're going to play these guys, and we're going to play to win every single game for the rest of the season, and we'll see where we end up. Right. Ping pong balls be damned, and let the basketball gods decide what our fate would be.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of people would go, no, you idiots, what are you doing? But it would almost be a relief, because right now it feels the Kings have just 2 feet in 2 different pools of the brain says lose for draft lottery odds. The heart says play hard and get some wins in your building, and you have a lot of home games in March. It's such a weird conundrum to be in.
It is, and you said this is the lunch break, and we always encourage you to either if you're on the YouTube chat watching us, if you have questions there, or if you want to call in, this is the time you can call in, because we've had a lot of great calls that are differing a little. We've had season ticket holders who go to the games to literally just watch a win.
I want to see wins.
And then we've also had people that have called and said, we understand that we're here to see more of the development of the youth.
Right.
And we want to get that number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
So, or the opportunity to, I should say.
Well, the good news is we are seeing in real time Maxime Raynaud shine. I mean, his development over the course of this season, it's been so fun to track his linear progression.
Yeah.
And it just, if it's a chart, it's just up. There was a little bit of a plateau. A handful of weeks ago when Dylan Cardwell was playing really well. And then, bam, he's spiked up immediately. I just have this question to lay out there, and I'm not saying it's not an answerable question.
Okay.
With what we've seen from Max all season long, why isn't he the starting center of the Sacramento Kings for the future? Why?
Do you have...
and it's not to, hey, come up with a reason to bash on the guy.
No.
The point is, I think expectations for the 42nd overall pick should be crumpled up and thrown out the window, because Max isn't the 42nd overall pick. Max looks like a top 10 pick in this draft. So
we're acting like these stories never happen.
Yeah.
We're acting because maybe even King stories like this haven't happened, or at least lasted.
Yep.
But in real time right now, with this being a conversation, I think the trajectory is starting to go in that direction of, yes, he could very well be a starting center for the Sacramento Kings team. The problem is right now is what happens with other pieces that are still here.
Mm-hmm.
And I still want to see how he adjusts in his sophomore season.
Yep.
When people have got the full tape on him, when teams have faced him a little bit more, there's more of a game plan.
Right.
That is where I'm not pausing because of reservation of what I've seen from it's you have to allow a little bit of time for adjustments to be had in the league.
Mm-hmm. And understand what we're saying here. We're not saying why isn't Maxime Raynaud your star of the future. It's why isn't he your starting center?
Yeah.
If Max plays within his role, what we believe his role to be, but plays at the level that he's been playing at, he's a starting caliber center.
Yeah.
Now, if we want to have the conversation a few years from now, can you be a title contender with Maxime Raynaud as your starting center? Hey, I'm not even close to there yet.
Sure.
But we've always looked at, well, Max is starting because Domantas Sabonis is hurt. And that's true this season. Max would not have gotten nearly this opportunity if Domas had stayed healthy. We both expect Domas to be back next season. We'll see what the Sacramento Kings try and do if they're able to trade him or whatever. But the expectation is that Domas will be back. And when Domas comes back, he will continue to start at center. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Exactly. But why shouldn't the Kings as an organization, when Scott Perry sits down with B.J. Armstrong and his front office staff, why shouldn't they sit there and go, we feel as confident as we can in trading Domantas Sabonis because we have a starting caliber center that we drafted that's right there ready to step in the spot.
And they're going in a different direction, it seems to be anyway, in terms of what you're going to get from a center like Domantas Sabonis in his style of play. It's a little more unique in what you're looking for, a little more niche to what maybe you're going to go a little bit towards in terms of Max. And I think he's Scott Perry's guy, and probably now something that Scott Perry is really proud of as well, because he did get him in the second round, regardless of how it happened. He got him in the second round, and it has turned out to be a success story, one of the rare ones this season for the Kings. And I'm not trying to saying that rude, but it them's are the facts.
Nobody expected it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody expected this.
Right.
When Max came into the league, when the Kings drafted Max, we were talking about, maybe he could play with Domantas Sabonis in stretches because he spaces the floor. Look how well he shoots at Stanford. But now we're talking about someone who is a very, very efficient piece in the paint. He makes it look easy, and it doesn't look as significant as it does.
No.
Y'all, his ability to find space in the paint and finish around the rim is an elite skill.
And he makes it look effortless.
That is very difficult to do, to find that space. And the fact that he doesn't have to rely on brute strength in order to get to those spots, he can fluidly weave his way around the defense. And I've seen these comments already. Well, Matt, he did it against the Chicago Bulls, who had no interior defense. That's true. The Bulls had no answer for Maxime Raynaud. But Max also had 22 and 10 versus the Phoenix Suns last week. Max had 16 and 13 against the LA Lakers. Max had 11 points against the Houston Rockets. Max had 16 and 12 against the San Antonio Spurs and Victor frickin' Wembanyama. He's not just doing this against bad basketball teams.
No, he's not. And again, you were talking about last night against the Bulls, and I get it. It's an inferior team. But here's the thing, and Max is a big part of this. They did exactly what they needed to do and some. They had 68 points in the paint last night to the Bulls 38.
Yeah, they dominated.
They whooped it. You hear this? Whoosh. Whoosh.
Well, now I can't hear it.
It wasn't like a MLB butt tap. It was like I got this as a kid. Whoosh. If I was bad.
I don't know what to do with this. You keep going.
Yeah, I'm like, that sounds like someone's hitting you with a filing cabinet.
Hey, keep going. You keep
cooking.
Well,
I mean, it pretty much was a spoon or a belt.
So. It was, but to your point, it was.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
no,
but
we don't know what you're saying.
No, I do.
If I could just
know what she's saying.
Say, FCC approved words on here.
Times have changed. Yeah. It was a beatdown in the paint by the Sacramento Kings.
You were very subtle. It was hard for us to determine what it was you were doing.
They dominated the Bulls. They just dominated the paint against the Chicago Bulls. Maxime Raynaud was a huge part of that, but of course it was Russell Westbrook attacking the basket that was feeding him. Nick Clifford attacked the basket a couple times, found Max in space. Russell Westbrook, Malik Monk did it. Malik had a really, really good game. We're going to save this topic for tomorrow because I don't want to brush past it, but I just want to touch on this. And again, not trying to get myself in trouble by creating narratives here. Connecting the dots of what we heard last summer and what I heard all the way up until the trade deadline. I believe the Sacramento Kings are going to try to move on from Malik Monk. I do not believe that the Sacramento Kings necessarily feel that Malik is part of the long-term plan. I think that has more to do with the contract than it does to do with Malik Monk, the basketball player. And that does not mean that they don't like Malik Monk. But when you look at the top contracts on this roster and which ones should be easier to move versus which ones aren't, in theory, Monk's contract should be easier to move. That is the reason why I do believe the Kings will want to move on from Malik. But he is an elite sixth man still. I would love to see him back in Sacramento. And regardless of how good the Kings are going to do next season, they still need a six-man punch off the bench. I would love for Malik to continue to be that here.
I just feel like they can't win in any situation.
There's always a but.
It's always a but. It's like always such a conundrum in terms of figuring out what's going to happen next, because in any other world, you wouldn't have these heavy veteran contracts that have piled up. And we're having this discussion, I believe, about, well, who's the easiest to move. I do believe that if we didn't have this issue with all these veteran contracts, that we wouldn't be as much talking about Malik Monk being moved, because he's been nothing but incredible for this team. He's a six-man, like you said, coming off the bench. He fits the city. He's a freaking pizza guy. And come on.
And he's playing consistently again. He's playing consistently again because Keon Ellis isn't here. And it's not to blame Keon, but what you could clearly tell was Doug was trying to figure out, how do I balance playing Keon and Malik? And it seemed like one had to play over the other at all times because Zach LaVine was healthy. It was just a mess of a roster to begin with. You have to clean it up somehow, and again, moving Malik might be one of the easiest ways to clean it up, so that might be why Scott Perry is most motivated to do that.
I know, but it's stinky, because it is stinky. It's almost like you're forced to do it.
Yes.
You really maybe don't want to do it when it's all said and done, but you're forced to do it because it's all about the freaking business.
There are very few reasons why Malik Monk being a Sacramento King next season and continuing to be here in Sacramento is a bad thing. Very, very, very few reasons. You won't hear me talking about him here on this show. You will hear us talking about the World Baseball Classic, though. I love this freaking tournament. I'm having so much fun watching the World Baseball Classic. We'll update you on Team USA. The Dominican Republic just won. Puerto Rico had an amazing walk-off moment over the weekend. Team USA is back in action tonight. We'll talk the WBC before Kayla's 2-minute drill, and we get back to football talk. It's Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown 411 16th Street and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action, but please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Planet Fitness, we're getting strong for the season's biggest games. Join now and your first month is free. Whether you're chasing a buzzer beater or your everyday goals, we've got next-level amenities like red light recovery and hydro massage to help you rebound and recover. Plus, with the PF Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime and access over 2,800 locations. Join now for $1 down, $24.99 a month, and get your first month free. No commitment. Deal ends Friday, March 13th. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
If you're serious about your golf game, then you need to know about Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Whether it's the TrackMan-powered player performance studio for your best fit clubs, or the cutting-edge technology putter fitting studio, or the free Ballnamic ball fitter and 3D foot scanner, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop offers you total game fitting from head to toe with equipment and apparel. Find your advantage at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop with the latest offering of new golf products in Northern California. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Sacramento! Now you've got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing, mechanical bulls, and food trucks. Make it a lucky night out of live country music and dancing for your crew. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Residents in Cal Expo and Gornick Academy. More info at CITBfest.com.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Emran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
Oh, it's been a fun show today, let me tell you.
Why are people arguing with me about an age when the age is right? Like, bro.
She's been mad about this all break, dude.
Well, I'm sorry, just because 49ers fans are like having a hissy fit because I said I wasn't thrilled about the Evans trade. I didn't say I didn't like Mike Evans. Chill out. It's like, I don't know overall if that was the right decision.
Hey, believe it or not, when you have reservations about a player, it doesn't mean you don't like the player.
I know. And then he's like, the guy's like, oh, you can't even get the age right.
But what do I know? I hate Russell Westbrook, apparently.
Pretty sure he's 32, going to be 33 in August, so he'll be 33.
Yeah, but when the season starts. Yeah. I mean, and does 1 year make that big of a maybe. I don't know.
It's very interesting.
I think the Mike Evans signing for the Niners is fascinating because it could be great.
Oh, it is
It could be wonderful for them if he's Mike Evans from 2 seasons ago. But is he? We don't know. Like, and to have concerns for the freaking 49ers of all teams about injuries is pretty viable.
It's a bit. I look at it as a bigger picture, right? And I look at it as the other receivers in that room. One being Pearson, who again, I don't know. I want him to be healthy. I love that guy, but I don't know if he can, and I don't know if I don't think he's proven that yet. And then you've got Kittle, who's not going to be there to start the season. Mm-hmm. Does no one see that? I'm just confused on all the people that can't necessarily see that part of it. So
I hear you. Let's see if Ashley does. We're going to get to the World Baseball Classic in just a second, but Ashley wants to talk about the Mike Evans signing. What up, Ashley?
Hello. So I heard Kayla was, a little unsure on Mike Evans, but I got some strong opinions regarding Mike Evans. And the reason why is, let's not forget, he tied Jerry Rice's record as far as consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, and that's not a small thing to do.
Sure.
And he's been very historically healthy. Now, last year he was injured and banged up, but he's shown a proclivity throughout his career to avoid the big hits and to be able to extend his career in that sense. So I don't think we're looking at necessarily like an Amari Cooper situation where, you sign him and you're not getting the value that you might be getting, because he does have that ability to extend his career. And I think that part of that is due to his very, very above average, elite route running skills.
Yeah, no, Ashley, and you are very entitled to your opinion, and you're not wrong, right? There is another side to this, and I think he's a good fit in Kyle Shanahan's system. There's no doubt about that. I might have a little bit of PTSD from covering teams that have done this in the past, though, because, again, your wide receivers, they hit a point in their career that, unfortunately, we want to see guys like this live on forever and have production at that level forever. Unfortunately, at some point, there's something that starts to decline, and I'm just afraid with what the Niners already are dealing with injuries, and then maybe if even he starts the season, he's healthy, and he's playing a lot because Pearson is, hurt and he's getting banged up, and then Mike gets hurt or he's being, double teamed. It puts you in another situation then where you're just going to have to rely on McCaffrey again. And I just don't feel like they can't afford to do that either, because I'm surprised McCaffrey lasted all last year.
But another thing that you haven't said, but what is important to mention is he's being graded with the highest possible bar, not because of Mike Evans, but because of the Niners. The Niners are trying to win the most difficult division in football and compete for a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So every single decision that they make has to be looked at through those lenses. And it's not only will Mike Evans stay healthy, it's will Mike Evans stay healthy to be wide receiver 1 that Brock Purdy needs to take some of the workload off of Christian McCaffrey and buy the team time to get George Kittle back and healthy, while also winning enough games to win the division or at least be a wild card team and then make a Super Bowl one and then win the Super Bowl. Like, that's what we're talking about here. So to have concerns about a player at this point in his career.
I just don't think it's a slam dunk signing.
No.
Like, I think it's a good signing, and it's exciting for Niners fans. It's a huge name, man. It's a big deal for him not to be back in Tampa Bay. But that's also part of it. Like, there's also a reason why other teams maybe said, we'll take a pass on that.
Oh, sorry, go for it. No, go please. I was going to make a joke. I was going to say it's a hot jersey that's going to sell in the team store. Like, that's for sure.
I guess, is 13 available? I guess we'd have to check that. Anyways, I was going to say, the other part, though, is like they didn't have a lot of good options, right? Like, I don't think there was a way they were going to get even a Brandon Ayuk caliber X receiver at any point during the draft or during this offseason. I don't think that was on the table. And I know you guys mentioned Romeo Doubs, who, like, I get the younger projectability stuff like that and probably a better value contract, but like Romeo Doubs has never even had a season as good as like Jawan Jennings last year in his career.
Guys, I just don't. The whole 1,000-yard season, I think we're being nostalgic a little.
You
I
don't
think we're
believe
being a little bit nostalgic.
You just don't believe Mike Evans is going to get back to what he was.
Not like that.
Well, I don't think he's going to get to 1,000 yards.
If he wants to be like who said this in the chat? Oh, man, he was saying in terms of a red zone threat. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I mean, he's 6'5". Yep. You're right. He is a red zone threat. And if that's what they're signing, but it's a 3-year deal. I think it's worth $60+ million, right? If that's what they believe, that's what they need him to do, and that's kind of what they're counting on for him, and that's fine. Like, that's their thing to do, and maybe they have a plan in terms of the draft. Maybe they have a plan on a wide receiver that they want to bring in here in the 2nd or 3rd round that they have their eyes on.
He could be a veteran that helps you
that would make
contribute
more sense
right
to
now.
Me.
Mentor for Ricky Pearsall, mentor for another rookie that you bring in. The offseason is just getting started. We don't have the full picture, but all we can do, to Kayla's point, all we can do is react to the information that we have in front of us, which is that Mike Evans is being signed.
Yeah.
And 2, we know what the expectations are for the Niners going forward. So every single thing is going to be looked at through that microscope. And to have hesitations about Mike Evans through the microscope of, will he be wide receiver 1 on the Super Bowl championship 49ers? Yeah, that's a fair concern.
I think we're wearing like some blindfolds here to not think about the other side of it. And we're just like, well, he had this many 1,000-yard seasons, and it was just a blip on the map that he got hurt last year. It might be, but he's 30. He's going to be 33 years old when league play starts, and he could have another great year. We'll see in terms of how long they decide to keep him. If it's a whole 3-year contract, I don't know, but I'm just giving you another side to it.
Putting you on the spot here, what do you think is like realistic best case scenario for Mike Evans next season? Whether it's numbers or whatever.
And I was looking at his numbers this last year again. He only played in, what did I say, 3 games?
He played in 8 games.
Sorry, 8 games. And how many yards? 300?
360 or something like that. I don't have it in front of me.
I was going to say.
I can look it up.
I would like to see the numbers just again.
Yep, I got you.
With before. But yeah, I would say, man, if he can play at least like 15 games this next season and have around, let's say, 800 yards or so.
Sure.
And then whatever, you give or take touchdowns.
So the season before last, he played in 14 games, had just like 1,004 yards. So he just barely climbed over 1,000.
And that's in 14 games.
Yeah, 74 receptions, 11 touchdowns. Last season, only 8 games, 30 receptions, 368 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But the injuries were obviously.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying. He has been able to be consistent up until that injury.
Right.
I just think, if you could get 800 so yards out of him, play about 15, 14 games, that would be a win in one season. But what happens in the other two?
Yeah, and how much guaranteed money is there in the other two? Because maybe it's just a front-heavy contract, and then there's I'm sure there's going to be outs and ways they can get out of it to where if Mike isn't. I don't think the Niners, based off of what we know about the Niners and throwing money around and their hesitancy to pay people, I don't think the Niners are lining up to throw a ton of guaranteed money over 3 years at Mike Evans. I think it's probably, hey, we're looking at you to really contribute this year. We have an out if it doesn't happen. If you play really well and have signs to keep it going, then we'll bring you back another year.
For sure. I'm interested when the whole details about the contract come out. By the way, the league year officially starts on Wednesday. So everything will be made. None of this is official, by the way, guys. This is all being reported by Ian Rappaport, the NFL Network, Adam Schefter of ESPN, Mike Garofalo of the NFL Network. So these are all things that will be official eventually.
Well, Happy New Year. Almost to the league.
Right?
We blew through the World Baseball Classic talk. We'll still get to it at some point. Shout out Logan Webb for leading Team USA to a win over Brazil to start things off. I know he gave up a homer to Manny Ramirez's son, but that's okay. Logan Webb still got the job done. Aaron Judge hit a monster home run in that. It was a little bit of a slow start for Team USA against the United Kingdom. And then Kyle Schwarber hit a massive bomb and everything.
Schwarber's been good, by the way, in 2 games.
He's been very good.
Dang.
So Team USA is 2-0 so far. They take on Mexico tonight with Paul Skeens on the mound for Team USA. So I'm very locked in, very excited about that. Also, Hernandez, who's an A's prospect, hit a walk-off for Puerto Rico, which was huge. I've loved the World Baseball Classic. I'm so excited.
It's been really fun, actually. And I think I'm hoping and praying that it's going to come down to a DR versus USA type of
don't forget Japan, too.
Yeah, I can't put away Japan. You're right.
What Shohei Ohtani's been doing for Japan is absurd, too. I love it.
If it gets to a Final Four of USA, Japan, either Mexico or Puerto Rico in the DR, it's going to be awesome.
Cinema.
I know. I'm excited.
Baseball gods, please. That's all we ask for a lot of things, but we fix the lockout, figure the lockout out already, and let's get that Final Four.
It's got to be crazy, like coming down from a high like this, going into the season even. Like, because I feel like spring training is spring training, right? But when you're competing in the World Baseball Classic, and these guys get excited, and there's a lot of pride when competing for this, and then they go straight into the season, it's going to be like, okay, we got to get back in the groove of things.
We just won the World Baseball Classic.
Right.
Now let's play 162 games.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep.
That's baseball for you. We'll take the break. When we come back, more football coming your way. It's time for Kayla's 2-minute drill. She'll go through some of the biggest headlines around the NFL today, and there are a lot of them outside of the Niners and Raiders. But don't worry, Raiders and Niners fans. We'll get back to some talk. We got Max Crosby's being traded to the Baltimore Ravens to talk about, the Niners signing or extending Eddie Pinheiro, the Trent Williams situation. Lots still to come here as we've got an hour and 15 minutes remaining of Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Your business moves fast. Your bank should keep up. At Valley Strong Credit Union, business banking is built for momentum with tools that help you manage cash flow, streamline payments, and fuel growth. Right now, there's never been a better time to switch. Open a new Valley Strong business account and get 3 months of business banking products and services free, up to $750 in value to power your next big move. Because when your business runs stronger, the whole Valley does too. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your business, grow your future at valleystrong.com/business.
At Big O Tires, we have the team of experts to service all your car's needs. Now through March 15th, get $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Nexen, Nitto, or Toyo tires with installation purchase. Disposal fees extra, not covered with other offers. See your local AO and Big O dealer for pricing.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
See, look, I love the NFL. I love football. Kayla loves the NFL and Kayla loves football. She is a kid in a candy store with everything that is happening today. And shout out to everyone who's been a part of this wild free agency NFL show that we've enjoyed here this afternoon. Of course, lots of Kings talk as well, with the Kings coming off of their win over the Chicago Bulls, a triple-double, vintage triple-double for Russell Westbrook, just to give you the old middle finger. Screw you.
Exactly.
As if I'm that important to inspire that kind of effort.
I think you got to take a little bit of credit.
Nope.
Will Matt George be the reason the tank is ruined?
Credit.
Yeah, well, did Matt ruin the tank? Hey, I can be blamed for anything. But right now, it's time for Kayla's 2-minute drill. Kayla, you might need a lot more than 2 minutes.
Yeah, so if you've been listening, we've gone throughout the show and kind of put in some of the free agency notes. It's quite impossible to keep up with everything.
Get everything. Go.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be impossible. So I'll hit real quick before I get into kind of the notes on some of the things that have even happened prior to today. Free agency, obviously we talked a little bit, and we will coming up talk about Trent Williams. Will he be back with the 49ers? There's disparity there with the contract negotiations. KC can be maybe said to be one of the teams that could be looking to add him potentially. We've talked about Kenneth Walker. He's headed to the Chiefs. The Colts re-sign Alec Pierce. Michael Pittman Jr. is headed to the Steelers. Malik Willis, who has been in Green Bay as the backup for the past couple of seasons. Good for him. I covered him at Tennessee, where things were very bleak there for a while in terms of him maybe becoming a starter somewhere. He signed a 3-year deal worth $45 million guaranteed with the Miami Dolphins.
Cha-ching.
So he looks to be probably the guy down there. And the Packers trade Rashawn Gary to the Cowboys for a 4th-round pick. Obviously, they got Max Crosby. Ravens got Max Crosby.
Yep.
Excuse me. I'm thinking Dallas might have another move in them in terms of defense. So we'll see maybe Trey Hendrickson. It's been a little bit quiet today in terms of that.
That would be fun.
I know. I'm thinking that could be a thing. So getting into some of the ins and outs, we mentioned Tua Tagovailoa, at least we mentioned Miami, Malik Willis going down there. He was released. Obviously, that led to Malik getting down there. And now it's being said that the Falcons could have interest in Tua Tagovailoa. The question is like, do we feel like he's got stuff left in him? Like, I do think Atlanta's an okay fit. There's some weapons there for him. I'm just questioning, like, does Tua have it in him left? Like, is there enough left in the tank for Tua?
I mean, fresh starts are always a good thing for
That's
athletes.
a good point.
And Tua has been connected only with the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Now, he was expected to be the guy to lead them out, so it's not like he takes blame for that. You can't just blame the Dolphins organization. I would like to see what he looks like in another organization,
Sure.
but with Tua specifically, the conversation has always been Tua continues to play football even though he's gotten his bell rung pretty significantly a number of times,
Yeah.
and that's always scary.
And you could argue he hasn't necessarily been the same since the
Right.
multiple concussions, right?
How could you be?
Yeah.
Some of the shots he's taken, it's not
sure.
just like, it's not just your physical health, it's mentally, I don't want to go through that ever again.
Yeah.
So I'm rooting for Tua. I'm interested to see what it looks like with a fresh start. I think he definitely deserves a fresh start. I don't think he should be out of the league, but I mean, we've been more than one big shot away from Tua hanging it up before, and that hasn't changed.
And again, the Falcons just haven't gotten it right yet at the quarterback position. Michael Penix Jr. is there, but in a way I feel like they've kind of given up on him. So I just don't know if they're kind of just like grabbing at, what is it called?
Grasping at straws,
At this point, seems to be that way.
Also, Michael Penix is only 2 years younger than Tua.
And that was part of the risk of taking him in the first round, right? And the injury history that Michael Penix had. Okay, this happened, obviously, this past weekend, but call him McMoney. Trent McDuffie and the Rams, the rivals of the 49ers, baby. He signs like a huge record-breaking deal. 4 years, $124 million.
That's it?
That includes $100 million guaranteed.
That ain't nothing.
Just nothing at all. Makes him the highest-paid cornerback in NFL history. That's right. And so, again, this is what the Rams needed to do. They paid him to say, hey, we're expecting you to get us back to the promised land or be one of the defensive pieces that can do it, because we've got our quarterback eventually that will do it again.
Yeah, the Rams need to improve defensively. They know it, but they just paid McDuffie to be the captain of that new
I'm the
defense.
captain now.
You are the leader. You are the guy. We're committing to you as the guy. We need to
Quarterback of the defense.
I thought that was middle linebacker.
Well, it might be corner.
It's actually the way they think and the way they have to process. It's definitely a cornerback.
Well, the way they're paying Trent, they're paying him as the guy. So lots to live up to, but hey, good for him.
Also, the last time the Rams traded for Jalen Ramsey, and 2 years later they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's a good point. Nashville's
So
on
they're doing the same thing again, which makes me sad because I really like Trent McDuffie.
I know. He's a good player. Comeback Connor. I don't know if you guys remember this, but James Conner actually was injured in that game early on in the season against Arizona or against the Niners. James Conner is like that dude in terms of a team guy. People love him in Arizona. It's probably the only thing they have left, really. And they pretty much proved they love him so much because they signed him, reworked his deal. So they are keeping him there. He's 31, though. And so it is a little bit interesting coming off that injury that was pretty devastating. They're believing at least that he can help them again next year. I think it's more so like they just love him so much as a player that they're like, we got to keep somebody here to give us some sort of like energy because they have pretty much nothing left in Arizona.
And look, they play in the hardest division in football.
Yep.
They're a organization that's resetting a little bit after some very frustrating years. Guys like that inside the locker room can be just as essential as a big piece on the field. So I'm glad they did this. Makes a ton of sense for them to go this route. They're starting something new. If he's bought into what the organization is doing, and clearly it seems like he is, and he's a leader that can set the tone and set the standard for the new crop of young talent that's going to be coming through there as they start this rebuild, yeah, that sounds great to me. So good on them.
Also, they signed another running back today, so it's like... The bigger thing, he's 31 years old coming off like a gruesome ankle injury. Yeah.
Gruesome.
So like, I think it was like he wanted to stay and they wanted him because he was a captain last year and everything else. But like, he's not going to play very much for them. But good for him for sticking around.
Yeah, seeing brighter suns, nah, it's not about having issues signing someone over 30, but you have to look at the entire picture in terms of what their team is at the time, what they're looking at moving forward.
It's called timelines.
It's not smart for everyone to do that or every team to do that. But yeah, you can sign a guy over 30 Of course.
Sure, it depends on timelines. What are your timelines? Are you
so please don't take my words and stretch them.
If you have a futuristic timeline, it doesn't make sense to always commit to a bunch of 30-year-olds that by the time you reach your timeline's like pinnacle, those guys are on their way out. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and again, like James Conner, I just think that's somebody they've committed to. He's been good for the organization. Didn't say they shouldn't sign him, so.
Sure.
Okay, moving on. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reporting that the Cincinnati Bengals have decided, here we go, not to tender Folsom's own quarterback, Jake Browning.
Boo.
So today, when I was doing my research in the morning, I came up with a little theory.
Oh.
And I was like, what if the 49ers do what they're going to probably do anyway and get something bag-wise in terms of picks for Mac Jones? I do feel like there are teams that very much so would give some good picks or decent picks away to get Mac Jones.
I agree.
I do feel like the Niners would probably, if it's the right in terms of picks and maybe a player-involved trade, would do something like that. Why don't you go then bring over Folsom's own Jake Browning as a backup to Brock Purdy, who has had, I know last year was not the best instance, but if you look at the previous season or the season before that he filled in for Burrow, there is potential there, and especially when it comes to a Mike Shanahan style of offense. I think it would actually work, and he could be a decent backup.
Where do I sign? I love this idea.
I came up with it this morning. I know it's not getting much play, and it might get a lot of pushback too. I'm not saying I want to see Mac Jones gone, because I don't, but this is the reality of this situation. I don't think he's going to be here. He's just too good of a player to not be a starter somewhere this year.
Yeah, he's an asset that you can cash in on when his value is never going to be higher. And, of course, we love Jake Browning here. How could we not? He's our own, Folsom's own, former Bulldog. We'd love to see him closer to home playing as a backup in Santa Clara, where, again, you want to be a backup with Kyle Shanahan, because Kyle Shanahan will either put you in a position to where you're going to succeed, or you have a very good opportunity. There's a track record of increasing your stock a little bit and giving yourself another opportunity. So I love this idea.
And that's the 2-minute drill.
There you go. And we got more football coming your way. We'll finally dive into Max Crosby being traded to the Baltimore Ravens. A Raider fan perspective on the deal. Kayla Anderson's perspective on the deal. Kyle will chime in as well. Plus, the 49ers have secured their kicker of the future, and our thoughts on this Trent Williams situation. It's all still to come on Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown, 411 16th Street, and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Growing your business? It's all about having the right team on the court. At Bank of Marin, we partner with businesses in the greater Sacramento area, delivering personalized service and local expertise to help you make a slam dunk. Whether it's customized lending or solutions to keep your business growing, you'll benefit from local decision-making. Expanding, acquiring additional assets, or building a lasting banking relationship? We're ready for tip-off. Bank of Marin, your local business bank. Visit us at bankofmarin.com. Member FDIC.
Contractors, remodelers, you now have a great supplier to assist you with your next project. Anova Cabinet and Stone in Sacramento. They are Northern California's best kitchen and bathroom remodeling supply store. Anova has the latest cabinet styles, a great selection of countertops, flooring, bathroom fixtures, and more. Visit their website, InnovaCabinetStone.com. Take advantage of their grand opening special, a $750 in-store credit. Stop by today, Innova Cabinet and Stone in Sacramento.
Co-hosts of the wildly popular Bad Friends podcast, Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee.
Wow, I can't even believe that this is real right now.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like this is a scam. It's going to explode on you.
No. Live Saturday, March 14th, the venue at Thunder Valley.
Do you know what the 3 colors on the Irish flag stand for?
What?
The hair, the skin, the soul.
Oh, is that what liquor does to your soul?
Yeah, turns you green.
Buy tickets now. Visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee.
Oh, this is like...
That's top notch.
KHD-KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
The Purple of Baltimore. Great get for the Ravens. If any Ravens fans are listening, 1, why? 2, thanks. 3, enjoy. Enjoy Max Crosby. I like Max a lot, man. He's a leader. He's a badass. He works hard. He's an unbelievable threat. And I see people talking about, what does this do to the Super Bowl odds in Baltimore? I don't know all of that. I know it still rests heavily on the shoulders of Lamar Jackson. Of course, there's a new era there in Baltimore with John Harbaugh no longer being the head coach. He's now in New York with the Giants. But that's a really, really good pickup for them. And even the wounded Raider fan in me, one, can be happy for Max going to a situation where he's going to compete for an AFC title, or in theory an AFC title and a Super Bowl bid. That's the expectation there in Baltimore. And the Raiders got 2 first-round picks back for him.
Big time. Which,
it's so funny to be an NBA nut and to talk about draft picks in the NFL, because an NBA first-round draft pick, if it's outside of like the top 20, you're like, oh, it's not even that good. To get 2 first-round picks, even from a good team that could end up being like 25, doesn't matter. That's a really good haul for any talent. So to get 2 future firsts, including this year's first, Baltimore first, for Max Crosby is a good get. Well done, John Spytek. And I'm interested to see what the other offers were for other teams, but obviously this is what the Raiders felt would be the best. They're prioritizing draft compensation, and they're absolutely in the right to do so.
It's a big move, and I know one that did not come lightly for the organization. If you saw the goodbyes from Max and obviously the organization as well, I think that this was, I'm not going to say mutual with how it happened, but it's respected.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way you could go out. It's almost like, when Derrick Henry left the Titans, it was like many people wanted to bring him back, but also many people were like, it is what it is at this point. He can go try to win a Super Bowl somewhere right now where he still has a couple years left in him. By the way, that's someone who's over 30, and I love that. He's been nothing but great in his career.
Yep.
But I think it was a smart thing. I get having and wanting to hold on to such a big piece of your organization and such a big leader, but the timeline, like we had mentioned, just didn't fit.
Right.
And it's also maybe a little unfair to Max to have stayed there and been in a rebuilding process for about 2 years in his best years. You're going to Baltimore now where you're known over there. They're known. Honestly, they have been known for their defense. They took a little bit of a step back last year, and that's why they're adding a guy like him. Because when it comes down to it, Lamar, whether you like him or not, he's a great quarterback, and he's been good for the Baltimore Ravens. But you got to have help in that division. It's a very gritty, a very physical division. If you have a guy like Max that can get to the other opposing quarterbacks and make their life hell, then you're on the right track. And I think it was a smart move. And again, the Vegas Raiders, now they get some valuable first-round opportunities to go and start to really build this team in the right direction. And by the way, earlier today with free agency starting, they signed one of the hottest centers out there, the hottest center out there, probably lineman out there in free agency, and Tyler Linderbaum from the Ravens. And that's going to be a huge piece for Mendoza to kind of build, if they do draft Mendoza, build that from the get-go there.
I like that the Raiders, by moving Max, acknowledged that realistically the value is never getting higher, right? Cash in on the value when you have it now. And what's important to talk about in this Max Crosby saga is the disconnect that really began at the end of last season was based not in Crosby's unhappiness with the direction of the organization, not in any decisions that the Raiders made. It was all based in the desire to compete. That's who Max Crosby is. I don't care what the record is. I don't care the tank. I don't care about draft picks, nothing. I want to play. I'm going to play hard. That's who I am. I don't know nothing different. So in many ways, the Raiders are doing right by themselves with the haul that they got back, getting 2 firsts for Max Crosby. But the Raiders are also doing right by Max Crosby, sending him to a place where he is now going to be able to compete at the highest level for the first time in his career. Not to disrespect the Raiders, although I'm allowed to. I'm a Raider fan, and it's easy to do.
You can say whatever you
also,
want.
even
man.
if you're not a Raiders fan,
it's very
you can
easy to
disrespect
do.
them.
But Max is now going to get to play the most meaningful football of his career right away while he's in his prime and is most impactful.
Right.
So that's what mattered to him. And this is a trade that very, very, very much benefits both parties. I won't talk about the Raiders. The Ravens. I mean the Raiders and Max. Both parties should be thrilled with this outcome. If I'm Max Crosby, even he might go into the Hall of Fame in the future as a Raider. We don't know. Or maybe he'll win a Super Bowl with the Ravens, and that's what he'll be remembered for. But Max should absolutely look at Baltimore and be buzzing with the excitement.
Yeah, it's a great fan base over there, too. Obviously, it's very different. It's the East Coast. But, man, I think he's going to fit in nicely there and complement that defense. Again, after having a down year last year defensively, like we know, at least I know the Baltimore Ravens as defense. Like that's what they always were kind of known for if you bring it back. And I think their offense has kind of outshined them in recent years a little bit. But now just to balance that out a little bit, they've got a new head coach there. They truly feel like they can get right back to being a Super Bowl contending team with a guy like Max. And I know maybe some people are like, you're thinking way too far ahead. No, not really.
I don't think so.
Not when you got a pass rusher like that.
That's the expectation there. Again, think timelines.
Mm-hmm.
They have Lamar Jackson, who is coming off of a down season, to be fair, but Baltimore dealt with a multitude of different issues last season. Lamar is, until he gives us a reason to believe otherwise, Lamar Jackson will be in the MVP conversation because that's the kind of talent that he is. So you have that on the offensive side of the ball. You know the weapons that you have on the offensive side of the ball.
Still got Derrick Henry, who does not. The man does not slow. He's
right?
just built different.
Right. So the expectation is offensively they're going to be right back in the mix for one of the best offenses in the league. Now you have a star that you're adding to the defense.
Right.
That complements that offense to put together a complete enough team to compete for your division and compete for a deep playoff run. There's no reason to believe, just like with what the Kansas City Chiefs are doing right now, getting Kenneth Walker and all these other pieces that they're bringing in. There's no reason to believe that either of these teams are not elevating themselves to be right back in the conversation. Doesn't mean they're going to be there.
Because they have quarterbacks.
Well, that too.
Right?
That helps.
So,
when you have a franchise
and that's why
quarterback.
you feel like you can restart the car. You don't have to rebuild the car from the tires up. You can actually restart the car.
Put some new tires on that sucker. Get it going.
Right?
Yeah. Also, another Raider note. The Raiders, according to Ian Rappaport, are trading for Bills veteran cornerback Taron Johnson, Sacramento native. What do you think of that move?
I think he goes underrated. I think if you go and look at kind of the work that he's done over, first of all, I love he's a Sacramento native, but you go and look at the work that he's done This is a really, really consistent, you're going to get production out of him every year. I do actually believe Aaron Rodgers, as much as sometimes like, what is that guy talking about? He spoke about him recently and said he's one of the best corners he's seen in the biz. And that's coming a lot. Like, that's a lot of high praise coming from a quarterback who's been in the league and done it as long as he has.
Yep.
It's just a nice little piece. A nice little piece. I feel like the Raiders are slowly doing some things here that are making sense. Didn't they sign Jalen Naylor?
Yeah,
Kyle?
3 years, $36 million.
The wide receiver from the Vikings. Spytech is starting to put some things in place. I'm not going to say they're going to be right back in the mix this year, but they're working. They're putting things together nicely.
They're putting a foundation together where next year, in theory, year one of Fernando Mendoza, he builds a reputation. He builds a comfort level with his team, gets comfortable with Genty, gets comfortable with Bowers. That defense hopefully improves to where, okay, by the end of next season, maybe you're hovering around 500, maybe you're slightly below 500, but you're building momentum into the following season where maybe that's where the Raiders actually start to open a window of, not a championship window necessarily, but that window of consistently competing, because that's been the issue. This team does not consistently compete. They have not consistently competed for a long time.
Yeah.
So you're starting that climb. I like what they're doing.
So I wanted to go back, and I know Drew actually mentioned in the chat too, and we talked about if you do draft Fernando Mendoza, which it does look like they're going to do, and maybe this week we dive into maybe why in some reason or some world you wouldn't. Because I heard Carmichael Dave talking this morning about maybe Fernando Mendoza is getting a little bit of pushback now. There's been some film analysts that have broken him down, including Greg Cosell that I worked with back in Tennessee, who works for NFL Films.
Shut up, nerds.
Yeah, so I maybe we just give another side to it, right?
Sure.
At some point, I don't agree with it, and I do feel like they're going to draft him, but you have Tyler Linderbaum now for the Raiders. And Drew is right. Yes, they are going to move over Jackson Powers-Johnson, who is also a first-round take by them, who struggled a little bit in terms of position this last year. I think that's a great move. And again, you're starting to slowly build the line.
Not to dive too deep into this rabbit hole, but if you have concerns about Fernando Mendoza, that's fine. I'm not saying that you're not wrong. What other logical choice do the Raiders have? They don't. You're not trading the number 1 overall pick. You need a quarterback. You're not trading the number 1 overall pick for a veteran quarterback because you're not in a win-now window. So don't even bring up a Joe Burrow or anything like that. It's ridiculous. I sure as hell hope you're not even considering, let me trade the number 1 overall pick to get a haul of something or another and then bring Kyler Murray in. No. Gross. No. You need a franchise quarterback. Yeah. You have the number 1 overall pick. You have a guy right there that is he the perfect prospect? No.
Nobody ever is.
How many number 1 overall picks have we been told they're perfect, and they end up just being whatever?
Look at Caleb Williams, who was supposed to be a generational talent from the get-go. It's taken them 2 years and a changing coach and giving him a plethora of weapons and shoring up his offensive line for him to even get to the next level. And I think he still has a couple more to climb. You got to understand this is a process. This isn't instant success that you're going to see from these quarterbacks year one. And if they do, they take a dip in year 2.
Fernando Mendoza is the obvious pick. The Raiders have an obvious need, and every move that they've been making over the last 5 hours sets up for that. You've addressed your center position. You're addressing your defense. You're setting the table for Fernando Mendoza to come in here and to start to build a new culture. You traded Max Crosby away. Got a couple of future firsts, including one from this year that you're going to add another talent in the first round in addition to Mendoza. Who knows where they're going to do with that? We'll see. You are building the foundation for something that can grow and learn and take the time needed together this season to get comfortable so that the next season and beyond, now we can start to cook a little bit. You can be what the Bears were this year. And that's the goal.
And you have, because they, have kind of been getting younger and some of these older players are now kind of out of the way. Offensively, you're going to start to see things come together, and it's cool that Fernando is still at that same, he'll be with the younger guys like a Brock Bowers and Ashton. This is the future of their offense that we're going to start to see here. Before our eyes come together. That's kind of cool too. If I were a Raiders fan, it's exciting.
there was a notification that came across my phone that I got a big smile on my face when I saw it. And that was the San Francisco 49ers extending Pinheiro.
Yes.
I thought it was great. I love to see a kicker get paid, man. And considering where they were less than a year ago with Jake Moody and fans being terrified about Jake Moody and his inconsistency, to bringing in Eddie Pinheiro off the couch, and this man just becomes automatic for them. He essentially has like a live audition, right? Like you're coming in real time. And Eddie talked about this. He talked about this with the media a lot. Like, I'm in here to make kicks. If not, I'm going to be right back on the couch. I'm going to be right back out of the league. Like, and he did it. He was consistent. He was reliable. And now he gets paid a 4-year, $17 million deal with $10 million guaranteed. Now that money's not a lot compared to some of the other deals we're seeing today, but that's a good haul for a kicker. And more importantly, the Niners have secured someone reliable at a position that was not reliable for them during an unreliable season in terms of injuries last year. Any reliability you can get, you lock up, and the Niners did that.
Especially at the kicker position, because you don't, like, Shanahan does not want to have to worry about that. Like, believe me, NFL coaches, it's the last thing they want to be concerned with. Your job is to come in, your job is to kick the ball, to make field goals, like to make extra points. That's all they want to deal with. You go do your own thing at practice. Believe me, they're like the land of misfit toys when it comes to the punter, the long snapper, and the kickers. They're always on the sideline doing their thing because that's what they're expected to do. And that's why this has been great seeing Eddie Pinheiro be able to have success this last year. Just a quick numbers on him. All-time field goals make percentage amongst NFL kickers. Ranks number 2 all-time in field goal percentage, number 1 last season with a 96.6 percentage, 28 out of 29 made. Only miss came from 64 yards. Ooh. Money dinero. That is what he's been. Dinero money, whatever you want to call it. That's a great problem not to have if you're the 49ers.
Well, and they secured him too, and that's a great story, man. Coming off the couch and kicking your way to a big payday and security. That's pretty rad.
They should start calling him Dinero Pinheiro.
I love that. I don't know how that's not even been a thing.
We need more kicker nicknames, by the way.
I agree. I actually am on the same page with you as this, Kyle, because they are kind of their own thing, and it is fun. And there is a ton of them. We always had names for them over in Tennessee. I can't even remember some of them. Some of them were pretty funny, actually. But
I think one of them was Kick Jagger. I remember that.
Kick Jagger. Who was, did Moody?
No, he didn't really have one.
Okay.
There
were terms that were not kind.
Yeah,
to describe him.
There always, I feel like there are some.
There was Money Badger. I love that one.
Money Badger. Okay.
Money Badger was fun.
Yep.
Money Mac, Dicker the kicker with the Chargers.
Yes, Dicker the kicker.
Exactly. There needs to be more. Is the point? So let's just start calling him Dinero Pinheiro.
Perfect. That works. I wanted to bring up, and I don't know if you were going to get to this, Matt, but I wanted to bring up something that has popped up, and I'm going to say I'm not quite sure how reliable this is. This time of year, a lot of these sources come out, and come out from the woodwork, and you're thinking, who is this? But sometimes they are people who have little sources here and there that lay little nuggets down. And so Easton Butler, who does a lot of reporting for the Packers specifically, had a report out that the Niners could be interested in the Eagles' Jalen Carter. We all know Jalen Carter, what he kind of came from in Georgia, the driving situation there. He spit in Dak Prescott's face to start the season, got suspended.
Not great.
But really, like, good in terms of defensive line. Like, he's a force. Like, he's a guy that can definitely give you production on the line. And that's something the 49ers are looking for. My problem with this report is I just don't know how much that fits what the 49ers overall as a culture and a team are looking for. But maybe it's a safe place for him to come and to be under a more critical eye.
Yeah, that's always the balance, isn't it? Because if you want to take on a player or someone that's had issues, you want to have a culture or a standard that's understood so that when that player walks in the building, they know what they're getting into and they know what's not going to fly.
Right.
On the other hand, there's two sides of that coin. The other side of the coin is, from the organizational standpoint, we have these standards in place because we don't necessarily go out and typically prioritize players like this. So I don't have a horse in the race in either thing. I don't know what side it is necessarily. I do think the Niners are an established enough organization with enough internal leadership to where I think it would be fine for them to do this if it made sense from a football perspective too, because I also think there's a standard there in San Francisco to where, hey man, if you mess around or if you do anything like, you can get up out of here. But at the same time, you had the Ayuk situation that's plagued you for the last year and some change, and I could understand the fatigue with the Niners of we want to kind of avoid anything that's potentially problematic like that.
Yeah, and I'm going to look on both sides because I think when you draft people like this, Philadelphia actually has done this before with some Georgia players and some troublesome things that have come out of, some of these careers when they're taking a chance on him, essentially. And they felt like in Philadelphia when they drafted him, they had enough to surround him. And to be fair, Jalen has been somewhat productive for him. Career 13.5 sacks, 25 tackles for loss. He missed some time with, I think, maybe it was a shoulder injury this last year. But I think when it comes down to it, it's like, okay, is that a gamble? Like you're like, oh, he could definitely add production and maybe be in a place where Fred Warner is such a galvanizing like role model on that defense that you could take a little bit more of a younger guy under your wing. He's 3 years into the league. I don't know. I don't know if it'd be worth the gamble if the price is right. I mean, it all comes down to price sometimes. Yeah. So yeah, it's a weird one to think about because he does have some things that are big question marks. You don't know if you want to roll the dice on that.
In general, I have a tremendous amount of respect for the Niners organization to where typically if they decide to do something, I give them the benefit of the doubt of more than likely they're right or they deserve the chance to see it through because of the track record. I'm not there with this Trent Williams situation, though.
Oh, you mean with Jalen Carter?
No, with Trent Williams. I'm moving on to the Trent Williams conversation. Jalen Carter, I trust the Niners to where if they feel that it's not a distraction and it will help the football team, I think I'm okay. I give the Niners the pass on that front. I trust them to at least give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm talking about with Trent Williams specifically. Like this is a situation where it's Niners. I know there's a game to be played and things like this, but you are not in a position to say no to Trent Williams. You're not. Yeah. And as long as he's
Who's
not
your left tackle.
as long as he's not making unreasonable, ridiculously dumb demands, which I don't believe he is. There's been no indication to believe he is. We heard him recently speak about how much he values Kyle Shanahan. We know how Trent Williams wants to be there in Santa Clara, and we know how much the Niners not just love him, need him. What are we doing here?
Playing hardball.
And maybe there's a very good chance that all this information is coming out from Trent Williams' camp to create that pressure. Like
that's a great point. Or agent, you said, his camp. Yeah.
We could just be creating pressure here to get this across the finish line. The Niners have dragged their feet on deals like this for a long time to where even if they were justified in their hesitation, the amount of time that it took created more of a narrative and more of a distraction than it needed to be. It happened with Bosa. It happened with Ayuk. It happened with Garoppolo for a minute. It happened with Debo. To some extent, it happened with Juwan Jennings. Just get this freaking deal done. We know you want Trent Williams. We know he wants to be there. You are in a win-now window. You just went out and paid freaking Mike Evans.
Oh, can I give you a stat in a minute?
Yes, please.
Kyle sent this to me. I believe it was on FS1 just recently.
Yeah, the first things first show.
Yeah, first things first. So first year with a new team, all these guys I'm going to list are 32 or older in this next season. Okay. So Mike Evans will be 33 in August. Yep. So he'll be 33 to start the year. Starts. Yep. So in 2014, it was Steve Smith with a new team in Baltimore. He had a great year, over 1,000 yards, 1,065 yards for Steve Smith, by the way. Love that guy. In 15, Andre Johnson went to Indianapolis, 503 yards. Took a huge dip.
Okay.
21.
So we're 1-1 right now.
21, A.J. Green, signed with Arizona, I believe coming over from Cincinnati, where he had success. 848 yards. Okay. Again,
middle.
That's kind of what I was looking at with Evans' production, if it can be somewhere around here.
So we have a good, a bad, a middle.
Uh-huh. The one that haunts me to this day, 2021, covering Julio Jones when he came over to the Tennessee Titans from the Atlanta Falcons. A whopping 434 yards.
So a good, a bad, or a good, a mid, and 2 bad.
He was capital W washed.
Yes. And then in 2024, Keenan Allen, he went to Chicago. Again, not bad, 744 yards. But again, it's like what are they expected to be in those spots that they go to? And so obviously Mike Evans, what are we expecting out of him next year?
So 1 out of the 5 era. 1 out of the 5 was really, really good. 2 out of the 5 were fine. 2 out of the 5 were bad. Well, that means you're over 50% in terms of
not a disaster.
And again, not all these were also coming off of injury.
Sure.
Also, we have development on the Trent Williams front because the 49ers have just signed Veridian Lowe, the backup left tackle for the Patriots, to a 2-year, $12 million contract.
So, but again, that's your Trent Williams replacement? You're trying to win a freaking Super Bowl.
Is Veridian Lowe and a draft pick?
What are we doing here? You're trying to win a Super Bowl now.
I'm a little worried.
Then fine, trade Trent Williams and watch Brock Purdy get killed. Your line's not good. He's the only feasible part of your line.
Sorry, I mispronounced his name. It's Vidarian Lowe.
I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. They're setting the play.
I'm excited for seeing how this unravels.
Trent Williams is not the right player to be stingy with about money.
Damn.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
But what do I know?
Definitely interesting.
By the way, Vidarian Lowe is 26 years old.
Right.
Great.
And David Jackson, City Sports, love you're on the chat today. You've been really active. Best time to draft, and O-line is in the draft. I agree with you, but there is still that, if you don't get them in the first round high usually, there is still that kind of like you got to give them a little bit to get to being that level. Like they're not going to jump in right away and be like a Trent Williams production-wise type of player. It's going to take them a minute.
You're trying to win the most difficult division in football. You're trying to win a Super Bowl. And you're trying to protect a quarterback that got hurt multiple times last season. And you're not bringing Trent Williams back.
We don't know that for sure yet.
Well, you're stingy about paying him.
Right.
Now, this could have just been an insurance move for the Niners, but if you're trying to sell me on the Niners just got their Trent Williams replacement, I'm walking off the lot, you used car salesman. I ain't buying that.
Woo! This could get crazy. Spicy.
We'll take the break. When we come back, a couple of cool Sacramento sports stories from the SAK State Hornets going over to LSU and roughing them up in baseball, to the Sacramento Republic FC beating the top team in the Western Conference last year, FC Tulsa, in their home opener. We'll touch on that. Plus, Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles, the Drive guys, join us ahead of a busy week for them. Alan liked the Mike Evans signing. Will Kayla and Alan come to blows?
Fight.
I can't wait. That's coming up here to wrap up the final 30 minutes of the show. It's Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Pacers. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 5:30 with tip-off at 7. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
If you're serious about your golf game, then you need to know about Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Whether it's the TrackMan-powered player performance studio for your best fit clubs, or the cutting-edge technology putter fitting studio, or the free Ballnamic ball fitter and 3D foot scanner, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop offers you total game fitting from head to toe with equipment and apparel. Find your advantage at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop with the latest offering of new golf products in Northern California. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options. Heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
When a person is seriously injured, there's no substitute for the personal legal relationship offered by the local NorCal firm of Ashton & Price. From the first attorney meeting, every important decision is made with a direct consultation with, and I can't believe I have to say this, a real, live, experienced, flesh and blood local attorney. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price, serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries with no fee until we win. For the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Tune in every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the Toyota Tahoe Report with Johnny Mosley and me, Elena, bringing you the latest weather conditions up at Tahoe. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers, Toyota. Let's go places.
Upgrade your parking spot during Sky River Casino's $1 million Park Your New Ride giveaway for a chance to win a brand new Audi Q7. Grab a free daily entry at our promo kiosk, and with 100 bonus entries every Monday, your luck could turn to luxury. Winners drawn every Saturday in March and April, with 2 guaranteed Audi Q7 winners during our grand finale drawings. Visit skyriver.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or over.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing, mechanical bulls, and food trucks. Make it a lucky night out of live country music and dancing for your crew. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Residents in Cal Expo and Gornick Academy. More info at CITBfest.com.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
According to Matt Barrows, got an update on the 49ers comp picks. The belief was that the Niners were going to have 2 comp picks in round 4 and then 1 comp pick in round 5. Well, good news, Niner fans. The Niners get 3 comp picks in round 4. Pick 133, pick 138, and pick 139. We already heard a lot about this potential that the Niners are really looking to the draft and the amount of draft picks that they have to bring in a haul of new young talent to really usher in not necessarily the next generation of Niner football, but to support their older generation with the group that will eventually take the torch on from them. Not that they're going to address all of that in this year's draft, but whether they lose Trent Williams, the addition of Mike Evans, the veterans are important. But obviously young guys and draft picks are going to be important for the Niners as well. 3 comp picks in round 4 for the Niners, Kayla. It does feel like, with everything that's going on with this Trent Williams situation too, it's just they're gonna put a lot of their hopes and expectations into not necessarily hitting home runs or striking gold, but finding some really solid players in this draft, hopefully multiple of them.
Yeah, and I think one of those has got to be a wide receiver as well that you can potentially, have for the future. Because again, I think Mike Evans is just maybe a little bit of I'm looking at this as if he is healthy next year, he can be productive. But I look at it as how much longer. I think a year, maybe 2 at the most. But I really think like you have to have other plans in terms of that wide receiver group and who you bringing in. I think if you have the picks that you have, you've got to go get somebody in there,
right,
who you think can help continue to grow with that wide receiver core in terms of the youth.
We're going to have Alan Stiles in here along with Whitey Gleason in just a little bit.
Is he sure he wants to come in here?
Oh, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he can't wait. But Alan actually had one of the takes of the weekend, one of the tweets of the weekend. He drew attention to the fact that the SAK State Hornets baseball program is phenomenal. And they've been phenomenal. They've turned out a ton of pro players, have had a ton of success. Now, if I were just to tell you their record, which is 5-10 through their first 15 games of the season, you would tell me, wait a minute, Matt, that's not a very good baseball team. Yeah, they were on a little bit of a skid. They lost 6 straight games, including game 1 of their 3-game series in Baton Rouge against LSU, who is the number 2 ranked baseball program in the nation. Powerhouse baseball. They were swept in 3 games by Cal Berkeley. Like, this team has been on a little bit of a slide, but Sac State is not afraid to schedule difficult games out the gate. That's what makes them as good as they are. They follow that up with back-to-back victories in Baton Rouge, beating LSU 5-4 on Saturday, and then a dominant 6-1 victory on Sunday. So shout out the Sac State Hornets. Hell of a weekend for them. Those are 2 very impressive wins at LSU.
When I saw that from Alan, and I wasn't aware of Sac State, their schedule early on here, and I was like, whoa, that is really impressive coming from somebody who covered the SEC intently, and throughout the season doing sideline for Vanderbilt baseball. I saw these guys, season in and season out.
Right.
And when I tell you these players look like they're from a different planet in terms of just the size of these. I mean, these are big players that play for the big programs like LSU, even compared to Vandy,
future pros just raising their draft stock.
Right. It's just in Arkansas, same type of big built, these are just different type of players, different type of athletes at that level. But to play in Baton Rouge as an opponent that's coming across the country that, no offense to Sac State, but they don't play anything even near what that environment is.
Of course.
Baton Rouge for football and baseball is one of the better environments in the country. It's just different down there.
SEC, man.
So for them to bounce back from that loss and to get back-to-back wins against LSU on the road in that environment, that's a really cool thing. And hopefully they can build on that this season.
Super impressive weekend for them tomorrow, and then they have a 4-game series against the Pacific Tigers from Stockton. So 2 in Sacramento and 2 at the University of Pacific. They're also taking on Kansas a little bit later on this year, so they're not afraid of those tough schedules. So pay attention to that Sac State baseball. You'll have a good time. Elsewhere in Sacramento, we had the Republic FC open up their 2026 USL Championship season, defeating FC Tulsa 2-0 at Hart Health Park. I can't wait, Kayla, this summer to get you out to Hart Health Park for a match. It's so much fun.
I know. I'm
it's
excited.
A great environment.
I've got a lot to do this summer, by the way.
You do. And I'm warning you now, they're late nights because when the summertime comes around, they don't kick off until 8 p.m.
Because it's hot here.
It's so damn hot.
Right, yeah.
But 8 p.m. kickoffs, and it gets down to 80 degrees. Oh, they're perfect.
It's also soccer, though. It's done within 2 hours.
I know, it's great.
Every time.
It's great, and it's a lot of fun. The atmosphere, it's very festive. It's very
cool.
It's very much a festival atmosphere at a soccer match. But they take on the team that was first place in the Western Conference last year in FC Tulsa, and they beat them 2-0. Another clean sheet for Danny Vitiello, who is an awesome goalkeeper that we have here.
Yeah, I've heard about him.
He's a beast. Mm-hmm. We had Connor Sutton on the show on Friday, and he shared with us not just what was going to happen for that opener, which, by the way, the crowd looked like packed, massive out there, which is awesome. But talked about all the great stuff that they have coming this season. So great start to the season for the Sacramento Republic FC. Wanted to give them a shout out, and also wanted to give love to Sac State baseball for the great weekend they had.
Yeah, I just want to say this because I am still newer to Sacramento. Man, time's flying though, because I've been here since September filling in.
Flirting with a year. Summer.
Yeah, and then the show's been about 2 years, but
2 months.
I think it's 2 months.
Well, it feels like 2 years given this Kings season.
Holy smokes. But I will say, it's exciting. When you guys, I know you guys have the Kings and that's your pro team, right? But these other teams that are here and the college, I love it when we can give some love because there are a lot of listeners that are interested in that too. Sacramento is a big little city. It's a market 20, but it's everything kind of seems right here. So I think it's just important. I love when we give shout outs to just not the basic NFL Kings,
And
it's fun.
I know we're renting a baseball team damn near with the A's being in West Sacramento this year, and I'm very excited about A's baseball in West Sacramento. But I'm not going to lie to you. I saw there were a lot of unfun, disturbing things that I saw on social media this weekend that were mainly directed at me. But what made me the most sad was the Instagram post that the A's put out. Now, the A's had pretty much the majority of their main squad who played a spring training exhibition game in Las Vegas. They did this last year. They did this again this year. And their core group of players, Tyler Soderstrom, Lawrence Butler, Jacob Wilson, Brent Rooker, Nick Kurtz, all run around in their perfect A's white home uniforms and took pictures all over Vegas, right? There you see all of them at the site where that stadium's being built, picture of them out front of the Vegas sign, them on the strip, them in the desert, and I'm just like, yeah.
It's about going to be there soon.
It's Vegas's team, and we're just keeping them company, I guess.
We're what is it, like the appetizer before the main course.
We're the couch they're sleeping on while the mansion's being built.
We're the grilled Brussels sprouts of the Athletics.
We're the
Ooh,
U-Haul.
I like Brussels though.
Oh, gross.
Ooh,
You like
there's
Brussels
some
sprouts?
tasty
You and Carmichael
Brussels.
Dave like Brussels sprouts, and you both need medical attention.
Brussels sprouts are good.
No, they're not.
They stink, but they are good.
There is nothing good about Brussels sprouts.
Ooh, you
nothing.
like do them perfect, like you char them and you
Gross.
put like, oh yeah.
You put sauce on them. It's so good.
Yeah, you know what makes a vegetable great is when you burn it and then dry vegetables that taste and smell like vomit and death. I eat salad. I eat cucumbers. I eat carrots.
You eat veggie straws.
I eat veggie straws. Those count. They're healthy. They are healthy. I don't know. Better than eating freaking Lay's. I don't know.
Watch us look at that packet. It's like sodium intake, 200% of your daily amount.
I don't think that it is.
They
I
are
actually
not.
think
They are good, healthy snacks. I'm paying a crap ton for them, so they better be healthy or I've been lied to. Coming up next, it's The Drive, guys. Whitey Gleason, Alan Stiles join me. Whitey and I will sit next to each other and have a nice, quiet conversation while maybe Kayla and Alan yell about Mike Evans. I don't know, but I hope for it. It's a
30 with tip-off at 7. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
NBA fans don't just watch the game, they live it. So stream like you're courtside with NBA League Pass, your ticket to all the action. Watch your favorite team shine and catch the league's brightest stars and rising stars at the same time with multi-view on your favorite devices. From the plays you can't believe to the most live games and the drama that comes with it. If it happens on the court, it's happening on NBA League Pass.
Only select out-of-market games available. Blackout restrictions apply. Additional charges and other conditions may apply. Visit NBA.com/subscriber agreement for full terms and conditions.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
University of Maryland Global Campus offers more than 55 flexible online certificates that provide short-term credentials and real-world skills you can use immediately. With a range of affordable undergraduate and graduate certificates in high-demand fields like business, AI, cybersecurity, data analytics, and healthcare, you can earn credentials quickly to help advance your career. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Ever notice how your floors still look dirty, even after you mop?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Swiffer Power Mop gives you a deeper clean you can actually see.
I'm listening.
Unlike string mops, Swiffer Power Mop absorbs more dirt and locks it away, even in those hard-to-reach spots.
Like behind the toilet?
Exactly. The new micro scrubbers deliver thousands of tiny deep cleaning actions, so your floors look, smell, and feel clean.
Bye-bye, dirty floors. Hello, Swiffer Power Mop.
Try the Swiffer Power Mop. Love it or your money back.
Have you tried my Colombian tamales?
Yes, but the Mexican tamales I brought are way better.
Colombian tamales wrapped in plantain leaves are unmatched, you know.
But the Mexican tamales wrapped in corn husks are the authentic ones.
At least we can agree that they taste better with Pepsi.
Without a doubt, tamales deserve Pepsi. No matter what tamales you love, enter for a chance to win a year's worth of groceries. Powered by Pepsi. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 or over. Ends April 5th, 2026. Rules at pepsipromo.com/free groceries. Pepsi is a registered trademark of Pepsi Going.
Sacramento! Now you've got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
One of the things we're talking about on today's show that now has become as official as it can be. Again, the league year doesn't start, NFL league year doesn't start till Wednesday. That's Tua Tagovailoa is headed to the Atlanta Falcons on a 1-year deal. And now the studio got a little bit busier. Of course, the Drive guys are in the building. Whitey Gleason, Alan Stiles.
Missed the memo. I'm not wearing black today.
I know. I know. You stand out. You shine. Kayla's been let me tell you, Kayla, I'm the quarterback that's thrown 5 times, and Kayla's rushed for 300 yards on today's show because with all the NFL news, she's been all over everything. We've been having a lot of fun going through it, and one of the best topics of the day on today's show was the Niners signing Mike Evans to a 3-year deal. We have rough estimates on numbers like $60 million or something like that, but we don't know the breakdown of how much a year, what the guarantees are. Kayla has been pretty consistent about.
I heard what she said.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true Seahawks fan, I would say.
Accusations.
I don't really get that reference.
Accusations. Well, but you seem. I saw your tweet. You seem to like the move, Whitey. I haven't seen anything of your response about the move.
Whitey's actually a Niners fan.
It's tremendous. I think it's a really good move.
You like it?
Yeah. I think they need a solid route runner, and especially because, Kittle won't be there start of the year. So to have a really professional, dependable receiver, and I know there's some risks, there's some, potential downside, but yeah, I think it's a solid move. Elevates their wide receiver room. And, what's not to love? He was hurt a lot last year. He fits right in with the 49ers. 2 separate injuries.
Yeah, it's definitely something that the Niners haven't had, like that typical, because I don't even think Brandon Ayuk was your kind of traditional X-receiver. So they haven't had that Brock has not had that since he's been, the quarterback of the Niners. So as long as he can stay on the field, I think it adds another dimension, to your point, Whitey, a security blanket, something like that.
Just a dependable receiver.
Yeah, that Brock can go to when he needs to, and I think it'll elevate everybody else. I mean, that wide receiver room was a nightmare. I think the biggest thing, and it was a bit bizarre because I kept hearing everything about the Romeo Doubs thing. So it was Romeo Doubs. Would you rather pay Mike Evans 20 a year or Alec Pierce 27 a year. And I don't think Alec Pierce ended up getting 27 a year, but I know it was a pretty healthy contract. But
he got a huge deal.
Yeah, I don't know how Alec Pierce became the guy, somebody's number one. Where did he go again? He stayed in. Yeah, he stayed in. And they traded.
He's just Mr. Yards per catch.
Yeah, they traded one of their other receivers. So, and he was
Michael Pittman Jr.
Michael Pittman Jr. And he was on the show a couple years ago. Sorry, Pitt.
Oh, he was.
So yeah, when we were for Super Bowl
Radio Row.
So that they moved on for him. So now Alec Pierce is your number one receiver.
Seems like it.
I know they got Warren, so he's really going to be their number one pass catcher.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, okay. Alec Pierce, I mean, he did work for me in fantasy this season, but it was just a lot of go routes. I'm just curious, giving him more of a route tree, what that'll look like.
I think his price was way high. I don't think he's like that valuable. But I think my problem for the Niners is what are they trying? Like, what's the message here? Like, what is the team trying to do? I mean,
they're all in. This whole get young rebuild
I feel like
thing,
they're
full
always
of it.
all in, and then it's like they're always hurt. So it's like, I'm looking at the past here, and again, you mentioned George Kittle. Like, he's not getting any younger. It's hard for him to stay healthy throughout the whole season. He did for the most part this year, but now he's not going to be back right away with the Achilles. You look at Ricky Pearsall. He's young, but he has not proven to me yet he can stay healthy.
No.
That's a worry. And now you're bringing in a 32, going to be 33 when the league year starts, coming off of an injury, and I know he stayed healthy prior to that, but that's a lot of wishful thinking. When you hit a certain age as a wide receiver, your production is going to go down. I get the red zone threat that he brings, and I think that's important, but this team has no speed. And that's a concern when, again, you don't want to continue to give the workload to McCaffrey because he's only going to be able to do as much as he can do every single. Last year, I'm surprised he didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
I just don't know what they're trying to do exactly. Like, if it's just, maybe it's just all in next year and they draft a young wide receiver coming up.
Well, that's what I was going to say, but they've had kind of bad luck drafting receivers. They're probably still going to get somebody. I know they've been connected to the Oregon tight end, but he had a crazy, a couple weeks ago, that 40 time. So I don't know if they're going to have to trade up or something like that.
Right.
But
Mike Evans is really good, though.
He is really good. But I guess that's the whole thing. I mean, if you look at the free agents that were out there, though, I'm taking Mike Evans over Alec Pierce and Romeo Dobbs. I mean,
but
to me, though, they already have it like Dobbs is. Like they haven't had a Mike Evans type of receiver like ever.
But I think we're talking about him like he's 26, 27. Like I think we're romanticizing a little bit about it. And I only say this because I've seen this in different places happen, where they sign a guy that had been so good for so long, and then it's like they hit that certain point of their career and just naturally the numbers decline pretty quickly. But again, Shanahan is brilliant at what he does, and Shanahan, if there's any place for him to go for Mike he could be back in terms of being in his.
He should be open
number.
a lot.
Right. I just don't know. Like, I guess for me, it doesn't necessarily change what the Niners need to do in the draft. Like, they need to get a young receiver anyway.
But the money, and they're already kind of dealing with stuff with money, like Trent Williams. Like, I don't think we just heard what they're doing at left tackle, maybe.
That's the part that confuses the hell out
I
of
don't
me.
know. I'm a little confused on some of the stuff with just like the amount of money they're giving some of these guys. And again, the contract hasn't been laid out perfectly for us, so.
Right. But the good thing is, the Niners, they never do anything wrong.
Never.
So obviously this was the right thing to do in this situation. This is who you sign because they're the perfect organization.
Talk about a 49er move with a Seahawk fan and a Raider fan.
Come on. They always do.
And a Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
I know, this is about the most random
Kenneth
move
Walker, are you serious with the Chiefs? Come on, man.
By the way, Travis Kelce, that's enough. We don't need you to come back.
No, come on back. One more year.
No, that's fine. We're good, man. We're good here.
But what you said about the Niners being all in, that makes the perfect sense. That makes the most sense to me, considering the division that they play in, and we know the window that they're trying to keep open in terms of title window with McCaffrey. George Kittle hopefully will come back and be the same George Kittle we know and love at some point. But then there's the Trent Williams side of things that confuses the hell out of me. Well, if you're all in, what is your hesitation to pay Trent Williams or get this Trent Williams situation handled? And don't try and sell me on the backup left tackle of the Patriots is going to replace Trent freaking Williams in a season where your offensive line is already a question. Brock Purdy is coming off of multiple injuries. They might trade Mac Jones if maybe it might be the smart thing to do to cash in on his value. Like, what about the Trent Williams situation from a Niners fan perspective?
The offensive line it's always going to be a problem. You're just going to have to.
God, that is not good to say.
That is the most Raider fan thing.
Yeah.
That's the most you've ever sounded like a Raider fan.
The way they approach it, and like, we don't like to spend high draft picks on offensive linemen. We like to find guys and fit them in. I still think there's a lot of posturing going on with Trent Williams. And, the report today is they are open to trading him. Mm-hmm. So it tells me like there's a lot of saber rattling. Hey, Trent.
And the Chiefs are circling. The Chiefs are there.
This isn't going well, Trent. Especially when it comes to, I could be wrong here, but stuff that comes through Schefter. Yeah. Schefter's really close to Mike Shanahan. They wrote a book together. So when I hear Schefter reporting the Niners say this or that about a 49er, I'm thinking that comes right from the Shanahans. That's basically the team pipeline.
Can you imagine how obnoxious Kyle's going to be if they get Trent Williams? Can you imagine?
Oh, no.
That would not be great.
No.
Would not be great at all.
Just as soon as I told because we found out right before the show started that Kenneth Walker was going to be a Chief, and Kyle just, man, he's ready to throw another parade in Kansas City.
In your face.
Yeah,
they're over exaggerating a little bit.
Well, and then if you're the Seahawks, it was pretty interesting for them not to. Normally, you can book he was Super Bowl MVP. Normally, you can book the feel-good contract. Yeah. That's what the Eagles did with Saquon, and I don't know, maybe they regret it, but yeah, the Seahawks not feeling like they need to, and especially with Charbonnet coming off injury, so I was a bit surprised the Seahawks just let him go.
Well, guys, what do we have on the Monday edition of The Drive, guys?
Vic Tafer, speaking of the 49ers, he's going to join us at 4 o'clock to break down what's going on. Who knows? Maybe more will have happened by then, because it looks like NFL free agency is the new NBA free agency.
Seems like it. Yeah. It's popping off.
Wild.
Mm-hmm. And Alan is excited about the Kings next year?
Ooh!
Is the tank cooked, Alan Stiles?
The tank is definitely cooked.
Wow.
And I can tell you that much. I mean, you talk about Schmal and Miles. That Russell Westbrook over might have been the easiest bet anyone could have ever placed.
You're welcome.
In the history. Not me.
You're welcome,
It's not me. It's not me, but
man.
that was the most obvious thing ever. Yeah. So, I don't know. That tank might be looking a little empty. No fishies in the tank anymore.
Is that sarcasm? Is he actually excited about next season, or is he not excited about next season?
Very excited. I'm very, very excited about the Kings next season.
I don't believe you one bit, but I'll listen anyway. It's Alan Stiles. It's Whitey Gleason. The Drive Guys coming up next. Matt and Kayla will see you back at 10 a.m. tomorrow. See ya.
Peace.